throughout the 20. To each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete is, from Grimsley High School, Drew Searles. Grimsley's Andrew Searles is first team All-Conference, second team All-Area, and was on the 2024 4A State Championship Grimsley Whirlies team. He is
Welcome to beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. What a matchup in the Heat Pounding Classic. Two of the best teams in the state, the Grimsley Whirlies, the West Charlotte Lions. Who's truly number one in North Carolina? We find out tonight. Welcome into Bank of America Stadium with the former Catawba offensive lineman Mark Covert. I'm Evan Budrovich. Two reigning champions of the state in North Carolina. Now they battle for number one in the country. Mark, what makes this matchup special in 2025?
It's the confidence, Evan. That's what brought them both state titles last season in their respective levels, and it's what they return this year. But a little bit different, right? West Charlotte brings back a lot of that star power that brought them a title last year. Grimsley is reloading a little bit, but the one constant, number one recruit, Faison Brandon, returns at quarterback for the Whirlies. He's got a chance to pull off a big win to start the season here in Bank of America Stadium, and we are all too excited to be here for it.
biggest matchup in the state tonight. Double-digit Division I prospects across the field. And for more on these programs, here's Rebecca Russell.
Well, guys, as you can imagine, the energy down here is electric. For some, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play at an NFL stadium. Both teams getting the chance to run out of the same tunnel as the Carolina Panthers. I had a chance to talk with head coach for West Charlotte, Sam Greiner, what his message was to his team before they ran out of the tunnel. And he said, this moment isn't too big for us. His biggest key today on offense and defense is in the trenches. Win the trenches. If you can win the trenches, you most likely can win the game. This is their city. You have to come in and own the city. We're not going to let them come around and push us around. On the other side, it was a quiet bus ride from Grimsley High School, where Daryl Brown told me that they're locked in for today's game. They came in with the same mentality. They played in big games before, so they're ready for this moment. Guys.
Thanks, Rebecca. Two programs with big expectations tonight. We truly find out who's the best team in North Carolina through week one of the young season. When we come back, lineups and opening kick. It's the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals game of the week, and what a treat here in the Queen City. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Charlotte, the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. It's the big one. Number one in the state, Grimsley Whirlies. Number two, West Charlotte Lions, which means we got keys and some important things to break down, Mark. These two programs, reigning state champs. How does Grimsley navigate the chaos tonight?
Oh, well, West Charlotte loves to fly around across the board. Got to be able to stay calm, do your job, and let the game plan do the rest. You see right there, Faison's time to shine. Under the brightest lights, the number one recruit needs to show up and stake his claim as such within the country. You can't talk about West Charlotte without talking about that team speed. They have so much athleticism. It's elite. Get your guys the ball in space and let them go to work. You have to play with that championship mindset. It's not won or lost in week one, but proving you belong by beating one of the nation's best puts you on a great path going forward.
Just the second meeting between these programs in history. So there's some key players to dive into, and they're reigning state champs. We'll start with West Charlotte. It's an elite quarterback, a do-it-all athlete. What can Jamori Nichols do tonight to start his campaign?
It's got to be that elusiveness. He brings so much speed to the field, especially from the quarterback spot, but also as an athlete. This is a guy who can get out and run, get on the perimeter, and cause troubles for a defense trying to place and contain. And while we're talking about quarterbacks, we've already teased him once. Let's tease him again. That's Faison Brandon, the number one overall recruit in the entire country, a Tennessee commit. He is big, he is strong. We're going to see just how good he is tonight. He's got to be spectacular for the Whirlies to come out with a win.
Brandon over 50 combined touchdowns a year ago. He does lose his top tailback, Mitchell Summers, now playing in college at Sacred Heart. But this Grimsley offense, it's loaded, it's balanced, and one of the best teams in the state a year ago.
And you really start asking yourself, for a guy who had over 6,000 career rushing yards in Mitchell Summers, how do you replace him? It's going to be a little bit by committee in that backfield. You're going to see a little bit of Michael Williams, a little bit of Ty Shoemake. They're going to be the straw that stirs the drink and gets this offense comfortable, that allows Faison Brandon to sit back and survey the field.
That's what Grimsley brings to the table offensively. West Charlotte, meanwhile, all the key weapons are back. Nichols, of course, the quarterback. Rakeem Finch, the tight end. He'll play at Air Force. Katie Cotton, the elite slot receiver, will play at Duke. And then there's weapons, including Dante Nicholson, who will play in Charlotte right here in his hometown.
Absolutely, and he's got at least first step that you do not want to miss. You blink, you might see him go by you. And he's actually a big red zone threat. Not a massive target size-wise, but they love to target him in the red zone and get him involved.
Philip Spade, our lead referee, going through who gets the rock first. So it'll be in the hands of the number 1 player in the country right there, who excelled in a state championship run for Grimsley a year ago, taking down Rollsville, the number 2 team in the state. And what an awesome crowd. West Charlotte just 5 minutes away coming down. And Sam Griner noted that this team could be even better than last year's state title team.
And it's fair to even mention that. We already talked about the big pieces they have coming back. So much returning talent that is not just great, but it knows now how to win a state title. And you get that hunger. They've been able to reload, get that mentality back that they have not done anything just yet here in this 2025 season. You're going to see a couple of punches thrown here at the beginning and see if anyone can deliver an early haymaker.
Can the Lions roar? Can the Whirlies tear down a town? It's kind of a unique mascot matchup, too, when you think about it. Mark, we've talked about the coaches, but Sam Griner, 5-time state champ between multiple programs, North Carolina Coach of the Year, and then here's Gerald Brown in the last 4 years. He's lost just 3 games. What a dynamic coach on the other side of things.
And only has 1 less state title to show for it within that time span. Just again, across the board, you see talent on the player side. The coaching staffs are loaded with guys who have known how to win, have developed a culture. And you've seen it shine through, especially last season. Both teams coming off those state championships. And an early opportunity to say that they are the best team in the state of North Carolina.
Here is Brandon Raccoon, the kicker for West Charlotte. There's Darrell Brown, one of the best coaches in the state. 92 wins at Grimsley. Time to get this party started. Number 1 versus number 2 in North Carolina. The winner gets an early stage here in this dynamic state matchup. The preseason favorites in 8A, the largest division, West Charlotte, and Grimsley the favorites in 7A, both reigning champs a year ago. We're ready to play some football. Here's the Grimsley return man, Jadon Taylor, the senior running back. He's part of the trio of new faces, replacing one of the best players in the state in Mitchell Summers. Raccoon boots it away. And here we go. Grimsley with the opening return out past the 30. And Mark, here's the look at the man who's done so much in his Grimsley career. 79 career touchdowns passing for Faison Brandon. How does he get even better as a senior?
I'll talk to Coach Darrell Brown about it this week. And where do you take the number 1 recruit and possibly improve him? Wants to see a little bit more urgency, getting the football out of his hands quicker, not just a quicker release, but not hesitating, pulling the trigger and getting that football out of his hands.
That's the Mountain Fried Chicken starting lineup. Winston-Salem's original fried chicken that's not greasy. No greasy fingers from this man, the Tennessee commit. Options Cayenne Battle on first down. Feeds Micah Williams, and he's going nowhere. What a start for the junior Damari Wallace.
Already see a little bit of that speed up front. West Charlotte so fast to the point of attack defensively. This defensive line, as long as it can stay sound here tonight, has a really good opportunity to make a good impact on this game.
Power 4 commits across the D-line. This is the Mountain Fried Chicken starting defense. Sam Johnson is playing in college. He's an ECU target. And Elijah Littlejohn on the edge, a Penn State commit. Now a 2nd and long. Quick toss. Opening reception. Alex Cooper. And he gets 5, setting up 3rd and long.
When you start to spread the field out, That's where you don't really want to be at against a West Charlotte defense that has as much team speed as it does. They can move sideline to sideline. So the challenge is getting at the point of attack and moving them off the football. But again, you're trying to go off your script right now, see if you can get some of those plays going and see what you like early on.
A rare 3rd and 9 for the Grimsley offense that scored over 50 points a game in 2024. Brandon blitzed. Screen pass incomplete. Great pressure. And the linebacker forcing 4th down.
Yeah, I think that's Elijah Littlejohn, the Penn State commit. James Franklin's got to love to see that. A school known for its edge rushers, as you see the Penn State apparel there. Comes screaming off the edge, unblocked, tried to get the screen, but Littlejohn too fast, able to break that one up and cause a 4th down stop. Excellent early start for this West Charlotte defense.
Grimsley punted the ball twice all season last year. Here's Chase Homentil, the junior kicker, his first punting appearance. Low snap, easy work for Chase. Wow, no punt, no problem. That's 40 yards to flip the field. And there's Darryl Brown, 10 years now at Grimsley. First 2 seasons, sub 500, but Mark, in the last 5 years, no program better in North Carolina.
It's about staying the course. You hear that a lot, and it's one of those older coaches' cliches. But when you're able to do that and you build a culture and you get your kids believing in it, that's when things start to turn around. And here over the last decade, it has been a monumental one for the Grimsley Whirlies under the tutorship of Darryl Brown.
Jamori Nichols anchors the Mountain Fried Chicken starting lineup. Keep an eye on Rakeem Finch, elite slot tight end. He'll be playing at Air Force next year. Nichols feeds his tailback, Jasir Gray. And that's going nowhere. This Grimsley defensive line graduates Bryce Davis, who's now at Duke, but in comes Jaden Wardlaw, the senior with the tackle.
A strong tackle to start the game. So much speed, again, on West Charlotte. You've got to get to them quick and in a hurry. And that time, Grimsley able to rally to the football and make that stop.
Darryl Brown loves his linebackers, Drew Searles and Kyrie Milner, 3-year starters anchoring the Mountain Fried Chicken defense.
They've got to be great. So much lost up front. That defensive line was shredded by graduation. These linebackers have to be on point and on time tonight.
Here's 2nd and 8 for Jamori Nichols, who as a sophomore took over starting duties for his receiver. Katie Cotton was the quarterback the year prior. Nichols feeds his tailback. Another short gain out past the 35. 3rd and medium coming up for West Charlotte.
You see West Charlotte trying to test the middle of that Grimsley defense early on. See how much push they can get up there and attack. A defensive line, again, lost 4 different players on that defensive front from last year's championship roster. So you want to attack that early, see how they hold up in their first game as a unit.
A 3 and out for Grimsley offensively. Now West Charlotte, who averaged 35 points a game, won the 3A title over 71st, works on 3rd and 5. Nichols, pressure coming. He evades it. Nicholson goes short and incomplete. Good coverage in the secondary. 4th down.
Try to get an idea. Wanted to go to Finch. Came out in the flat that time. Grimsley, tight coverage. Man-to-man at the bottom of your screen. Forces Nichols to reconsider. Hold the ball. Has to extend the play and just cannot find anything. Great job by Grimsley staying disciplined, following their assignments and getting it done. See here at the bottom of your screen, right in the slot. Wants to go to Finch. There's nothing there. So good job by Nichols not to force that one, but in a better job by Grimsley staying disciplined and breaking up the pass.
First punt for West Charlotte. And this is Katie Cotton, the elite tight end slot receiver who can also kick. He's checking with the official here. Play clock's down at 2. He's got to make a decision. And just in the nick of time. Short punt. Great field position for Grimsley. We'll step aside. Early timeout here in the Queen City. Grimsley Whirlies get the football. We come back. Your Friday Night Rivals game of the week. Offenses look to return when we come back. Well, that's my kind of weather. Look at tonight's Skywatch weather game forecast. Chief meteorologist Jonathan Wendt has the story. That's pretty good football weather right now.
Not too bad. Hey, week one, you always talk about cramping, the hot weather getting there, especially on fields like this where it's turf. Not so much tonight. The humidity, a little bit, but not too bad. But 76 degrees. You can't ask for much better in week one.
That's my kind of weather. 16-yard punt sets up Faison Brandon's second drive. He goes out quickly. Incomplete. Look at the coverage by Xavier Porter, the DB, affecting that pass.
Porter may have had a shot at an interception there. Read it really well, but cuts underneath the one block and makes the play to break up that football. What a stop by Porter on the first play of this drive.
West Charlotte's defense, 31 forced turnovers last year for Robert Williams, D coordinator. They fly around the football.
Well, they have to. You're able to wreak that havoc because of the team speed they have. If you can mess with people just by lining up in one spot and you can rush over to another, you can blanket a lot of coverages, disguise a lot of things, and that's exactly what West Charlotte does so well.
Brandon, quick toss, finds Cooper. Nice screen. Cooper breaks loose. What a start for Grimsley. 54-yard score.
Team speed. It's deadly, but it is a double-edged sword. If you are too aggressive, you can overcommit, plays break down, and you can give up long gains and even touchdowns. That time it was a jailbreak to the inside of the formation that Grimsley capitalizes on, and they strike first here in Charlotte.
How about the Rent-A-Home Triad touchdown? Rent-A-Home, a triad where property owners and tenants find their perfect fit, and a new home for Hudson Cooper, the end zone, here at Bank of America. Extra point for Homental, makes it 7-zip, and a 53-yard pitch and catch. The number one quarterback in the country.
And all that aggressiveness, that speed gets the outside. Just a tunnel screen this time. There is no one home, a convoy of Worley's in the middle. And from there, it's Cooper taking it to the house. These quick passes that we heard from Darryl Brown about getting the football out decisively from his quarterback. He wants to see Faison take some of those plays and just commit to them right away when he knows he has at that time. No hesitation. Timing is perfect, blocking perfect, and it was an easy straight line shot from Hudson Cooper to the end zone.
As a reminder, tonight's game is live streamed on our YouTube and Facebook page, brought to you by Tip Top Roofing. Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Football Roofing. How about that drive? A chance for a 3-and-out, and then Cooper makes it a 50-yard dash.
And that's what either one of these teams can do to you here tonight. It can be in the blink of an eye that they strike and you don't even know what happened before they're racing through the back of the end zone. So skilled on both sides of the football here tonight. A lot of offers at the collegiate level.
That's touchdown 80 of Faison Brandon's career. Top in the state among active quarterbacks. Last year it was Jalen Hewitt at Havelock, the elite passer, 54 touchdowns. Well, the touchdown leader in the state so far is here tonight, number one. Homental's kick, this time shorter and returnable. Let's see what West Charlotte can do with it from the 5. Good room for Davian Jones. Oh, Jones has a juke. Jones gets a block. There goes Jones. Touchdown, West Charlotte. But hold on, we have a flag back at the 30. I think some fans in black are about to be upset as here comes the call from Philip Spate. That's senior captain Trenton Ramsur committing the hold right here.
A lot of the times you get a jailbreak kind of like that on a kickoff. Something happened and probably was a little illegal, just a little bit of holding. Not really sure that I could see it there. But you do see the game-breaking ability of the offense for the special teams. Davion Jones quick with it. An ace in the return game. You saw it there, just negated by the holding penalty.
So Jamori Nichols in this offense to go 3-and-out. There's Coach Sam Greiner, the reigning coach of the year in the state. He's a dad of 2 daughters, so he put in a very family-friendly way. He said, hey, if anyone's going to date my daughter, Jamori Nichols is one of those guys that I trust.
I made it very clear, but it speaks to his character, doesn't it? This is a guy that is super smart, likable, a leader for this team as well, taking over that quarterback spot, very much deserving of that moniker.
A great West Charlotte turnout tonight, just 5 minutes from campus as Emory McLean gets the rock. He makes a juke and dives forward for 8 yards on first down. Aiden Turner, last year's starting back, 11 touchdowns from a year ago. He's now playing at the college level. They love this tandem of Gray and McLean in the backfield.
Yeah, and it really does speak to a lot of what they do, right? You saw the vision there that time. McLean gets out in front, able to get ahead of steam. Gray gets ahead of steam, but still has the wherewithal, that vision on the backside to make a man miss and then get upfield for extra yards.
It's an offensive line anchored by Akeem Rose, who wears a size 16 shoe at left tackle, a future Shaq, protecting the quarterback. He's 6'2", 270. And now a second and short, right back to Gray. He dives forward. Nice second effort for the first down. How important are these short yard situations for West Charlotte tonight?
Well, they have to dominate those up front. They've got to attack what you have to believe is one of the strengths of this Grimsley defense, as it has been for years, and that's the heart of that defense, right into the teeth of the defensive line and the linebackers. If you can dominate in that aspect and push this defense back, that is where you're going to be able to hurt them.
That's why West Charlotte averaged 7 yards a game on the Crescent Ford first down, right in style with the new F-150 from Crescent Ford. Nichols, quick toss, finds Nicholson. Nicholson, he's a young man rumbling down that sideline. Nicholson pushed out inside the 20. Explosive from the senior receiver.
Just working the sideline, you get those one-on-one matchups, and that's what you want to see happen. Nicholson able to capitalize the quick pass to the outside. You get the one block there. Ask Nicholson to just turn on the afterburners, get past one defender, and works his way down the sideline.
Coach Greiner called him the best athlete on the team, Dante Nicholson. That's explosive for 45 yards.
Talked about that elite first step. You saw it every step along the way that time.
Here's McLean. McLean pushing forward, turns 1 yard into 5 as they enter the red zone. Tonight's Cook Reynolds red zone. Cook Reynolds in 5 convenient locations across the state. Like the amount of tailbacks West Charlotte has in the red zone. Nichols can run. Everyone gets the ball in the red zone.
And they're attacking right in the middle of that Grimsley-Worley defense right now, running the football. They are getting some push right in the middle of that defensive line right now, and they are changing the line of scrimmage at the point of attack.
7 different players scored a rushing touchdown last year for West Charlotte. Here's 2nd and 4. This time it's McLean. Good shoestring stop. And that's the backup, Guy Van, the sophomore, on the stop.
Right on cue. They give up some penetration there. Van, a quick first step allows him to get past his initial block.
And not many Vans have quick first steps.
No, they do not.
But when you rev up that Van, he's rolling.
Fresh wheels on him. Nice tread. Able to get back there and blow that one up. And now it forces a 3rd and short situation again. For Grimsley, you got to really stay disciplined here. Watch those shorter passes.
Nichols on 3rd down. Quick toss. It's Gray. He dives forward. Nice second effort. Moves the chains. Gets 4. And sets up 1st and goal for West Charlotte.
I do like the approach so far. Not just from the play calling standpoint, but from the mentality of these backs. They're not going east and west right now. It's north and south. They're getting upfield in a hurry and running behind those shoulder pads.
On the Crescent Ford first down. Nichols is a running threat in the red zone. Sam Greiner loves his playmaking down here. And Nichols will earn 5 yards, fooling the Grimsley defense. Wait, no flag. Interesting. Referee saying Grimsley reset. So the play clock's down to 1. Timeout, West Charlotte.
Well, it's interesting. You do your job, draw the defense off sides, but did not come across far enough, it seems, to warrant a flag being thrown there. The officials hold up, and it looked like it threw West Charlotte off of their rhythm on that play call.
Unique at the high school level that players can go forward and then replace the line. So it's not necessarily just the movement that draws the flag.
And it's a hard ask, but this is where we've talked about the college prospects in this game, right? Where you take that next level. as a former center, you watch that. So as soon as those guys come across, you're snapping that football, drawing that offsides flag, and you've got a free play in that circumstance.
So at halftime of this week's Medical Minute, presented by NCDHHS, managing the delivery of health and human-related services for all North Carolinians. So make sure to check out the NCDHHS Medical Minute coming up at halftime. A quick minute for Sam Grinder to have a nice discussion. He talked this week about identifying West Charlotte as the top team in the state. He said, we're facing a well-oiled machine. Penalties like this can be costly in the red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not a situation where you want to jeopardize putting yourself behind the 8 ball when you're so close to putting points on the board and having a chance to even the score here. Neither one of the teams that are here tonight can afford to do that on either side, because you make that one little mistake, it could be the end of your night, potentially the first loss of the season.
Here's first and goal. A lot of movement, and now a whistle. But who moved first? This is the game where the fingers start pointing and everyone blames the other team. That'll be decided by our lead referee, Philip Spade. And Mark, we just talked about red zone penalties. West Charlotte not getting the call the previous play, and now they're 5 yards back.
Week 1 jitters. Probably chalk it up to that. You're trying to get off the football. You can smell the end zone at this point. Hold your water. Make sure you're going along with the count.
I'm putting my water in the hands of Cheese Hansley McNair, the 335 left guard. He moved from center a year ago. Elite prospect with Power 5 offers everywhere.
And Jaquise Broom next to him at right tackle. These are two guys where McNair moved inside to that right guard spot, makes room for Broom on the outside. And you could argue, certainly within the city of Charlotte, that this is the best right side of an offensive line, possibly in the state. You got size, athleticism, quick hands, quick feet, everything you want.
Here's first and goal after the penalty. And then another whistle. Nichols will have to come back. Let's see if movement pushes West Charlotte another 5. Keep in mind, West Charlotte, one of the bottom 5 penalized teams in the state, with all underclassmen. Offensively, this year, a slower start on this drive.
Again, you get to those week 1 areas, and so many coaches, we hear about it every single year. You don't really know what you're going to get. Yeah, you won a state title last year. Yes, you have a lot of talent coming back, but it's still a different roster. It's still a different year. You don't really know what you have week 1. It's one of the greatest unknowns throughout the entire course of the season. Right now, West Charlotte, great job getting down here, but now you're shooting yourself in the foot and knocking yourself out of better opportunities.
Back-to-back penalties. First and goal from the 16. Here's Nichols. Keeper. That's going nowhere. Jaden Wardlaw and Andrew Rogers on the stop. And there's older brother Jaden making the play with his younger brother Tristan on the D-line.
I got to tell you, Evan, I did not think that Grimsley was going to have a chance at this one. You see the miscommunication. They were still moving around before the snap, but the effort and the play to get back in the backfield despite being out of position, a couple of different Grimsley defenders able to step up and make a play despite the miscommunication up front.
New D-line coach Lee Meekins loves the effort of this defensive line. There's no more Bryce Davis, a Duke commit. There's no longer J.T. Jarrett, who's at USC defensively, but these younger prospects are stepping up in the red zone.
We got to think from the mindset, everyone knows, hey, we lost a bunch of guys defensively, especially on that defensive front. Well, Grimsley, are they going to be as good? Are they going to be the same Whirlies that we're used to seeing? There's no more Bryce Davis. Over the course of months since the last time they were on the field, they've been hearing about that, and it's been eating their craw all offseason long. They're showing out so far tonight.
We'll take the timeout. West Charlotte in the red zone. The Keep Pounding Classic continues after this timeout. Welcome back to the Keep Pounding Classic, our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals game of the week. We have our new Beatty Plumbing fan camp. Beatty Plumbing, a straight flush beats a full house. Little poker reference, little toilet reference, little fan cam reference. Everyone's happy at a night like this.
Toilet reference is crazy.
Fun stuff here at Bank of America Stadium. 54-yard score for Grimsley in the first quarter. And here's West Charlotte marching back, but 2 penalties make set up a second and long.
And it just feels like not only are they all the way back in a goal-go situation now, just inside the 20, but there's been no rhythm now. This game has come to a screeching halt after just consecutive plays going back-to-back, trading blows between these two powerhouses within the state.
The running game of West Charlotte has been stalled on this drive.
Evan, you kind of get the sense that right now Grimsley is challenging Nichols in this offense to take to the air and hurt them there.
Here's Nichols play action. Steps up. Short route, Finch. Nice juke. Impressive tackle. Finch is tripped up. And Makai Yan, the senior DB on the stop.
That's an excellent play down in space. We know how lethal Rakeem Finch is in the open field, even as a tight end. You get the matchup you want. He's wide open on that side in a one-on-one spot. But Yan able to break it down, make the play, wrap him up around his ankles, not allow that big body to get going any further.
Yan replacing all-conference DB Ryan Debo, 4 picks, now playing in college. It's a young defense for Grimsley, fresh off the state title. They need to stop here. Here's 3rd and goal. Nichols picks up the blitz. Nichols scrambling. Escapes, finds a man. Nicholson, touchdown. And here's West Charlotte going to work. 3rd and goal, creativity on the Rent-A-Home Triad touchdown.
I present to you the dilemma that Jamori Nichols presents to a defense able to get outside the pocket. These DBs have to step up to try to make a play and put him in a decisive situation. He recognizes it, puts those wheels to work, then the arm for the score to Nicholson.
Impressive 80-yard drive, and that extra point notches it up. Jamori Nichols, he's a tough stop with his mobility out of the pocket.
That's the stress it puts on a defense. He breaks contain and gets outside. And as a defender on the edge, you then have to make a decision as to whether or not you go for him or you play a receiver that you're covering. If you step up, he's going to be smart enough and have the wherewithal to make those throws down the field if you're going to give him an easy window to throw to.
11 touchdowns a year ago from Nicholson. He's an elite throw it up in the air kind of guy, but that time he found some open space in the end zone.
But again, it's just the wherewithal, the smarts to recognize I'm on the edge. These defenders have to do something. I'm either taking off and running to try to reach the pylon, or they're going to step up and they're going to give me an opportunity to throw the ball into the end zone to one of my receivers. Lo and behold, it's his best one on the outside in Dante Nicholson. I mean, that's just too easy. Grimsley, in no man's land, has to make a decision to get upfield and hope that Nichols doesn't recognize it, but more often than not, he's going to make the right decision.
Caps a 9-play, 75-yard drive. Couple of 3rd down conversions here for West Charlotte. And Sam Greiner all week said it's Nichols' playmaking ability that takes our offense from one level to even better in 25.
You talk about the intangibles of a guy like this. When we asked him, what does he have that you want to improve on? And he said, honestly, the only thing we could want to improve on is his height. And that's all God-given. Everything else, he used the word elite, and you see it there. The decision-making, the speed, the recognition, all on display on that touchdown play. That's exactly what you want out of your all-everything quarterback.
In a state where last year's #1 quarterback recruit, Bryce Baker, he's now playing for Bill Belichick at Carolina. Here are 2 elite junior and senior quarterbacks that are both #1 in their respective classes.
Showing so early on. Boy, we always heard going into this matchup that this was potentially one of those games where it was going to become a shootout between 2 elite quarterbacks. And as of right now, it has lived up to that billing.
If you like points, you came to the right place here at the Carolina Classic Fair Game of the Week. Raccoon's kick. I love that name, Raccoon. Here's the Grizzly Bear from the 20. Nice juke for Kyan Battle, and he's dragged down out past the 30-yard line. So early in this game, Grimsley's playing the dink and dunk option. How does that open up their offense downfield?
Well, we heard one of the terms that you've come to hear so much over the last decade or so in football when we were talking to Coach Brown this week, RPO. You want to get the football out, and that means you have the opportunity to run the football, hand it off, or your quarterback, if he sees something on the outside or in the middle of the defense he doesn't like, he can get it out on the perimeter to a wide receiver. That's where the decision-making and the mental capacity of a quarterback comes into play, and when you've got a guy like Faison Brandon, you can run this offense and it still works.
Brandon keeps it himself. Brandon's quite an athlete. The Tennessee commit gallops for 12. A new part of his running game here as a senior.
He had another guy in the hole. You saw number 1 there, Michael Griffin, sizing him up at that linebacker spot. It was him on the outside, and the strength of Faison Brandon to stiff arm him off. Griffin, a guy that's getting some looks at the Division I level as well, an offer from Virginia Tech, so no small feat, getting outside, showing off the strength and then the speed.
Fresh set of downs for Grimsley off the touchdown drive. Play action, stays short to Cooper. And how about the creativity from Joel Rigsby, offensive coordinator, deking out the defense?
Well, smart play there. You have a receiver stay underneath and the other receiver at the top of the screen goes upfield. So the defense gets sucked down the field there. A little pump action from Brandon. Draws the defense back a little bit. They have to respect those deep shots and back off the line just enough for Alex Cooper to get room to work with. 5
straight completions for Faison Brandon, the number 1 quarterback in the country here as a senior. Setting up 2nd and 2. Another quick toss. That's a lateral. Nice catch. Hudson Cooper stays on his feet. The first down for Grimsley.
Seems pretty obvious right now what the game plan is against this West Charlotte defense, isn't it? Get the ball out quick. Don't allow that speed that they have up front to take place. And get after an offensive line that, while still experienced and very good and lean up front, can have trouble with the speed of this Lions front 7.
4 new starters on offense, 3 of them on the offensive line for Grimsley this year. It's a tough task. Now 1st and 10. Williams gets the rock, and he's dragged down immediately. What has West Charlotte done to control the line of scrimmage tonight?
Just working their hands, playing sound run defense, and fitting those gaps. Sometimes you don't need to blitz half your defense just to get to a ball carrier in the middle of the line. As long as your guys up front are handling their gaps, staying sound to their assignment, and playing the football.
And think of the NFL level. On this field, Vita Vea and the Tampa Bay Bucks controlling the D-line, winning those battles, so it makes that team dangerous in the playoffs. Brandon with that new O-line feeds Williams. He's going nowhere. Little John again, crashing in from the near side.
Oh, it's a pick your poison kind of battle when you're talking about Elijah Littlejohn on the edge. You either sacrifice speed, and he has the length to get through, or you get speed on him and he's got the length to get past that. I mean, it's where is number 5 at all times on the field. You have to recognize where he is. Loves that edge pressure, but you see the speed down the line to get in there and make a play that time on Williams.
Littlejohn is one of 10 players on this defense with a college offer. Incredible depth for D coordinator Robert Williams. Brandon on 3rd and long. QB keeper. Oh, he splits the difference. Brandon's legs an impact. Give him 13.
Pretty impressive. The guy of that stature getting up the field in such a way so quickly as well. Follows through with the fake, recognizes the pressure starting to swarm in and surround him, and that quick step to get upfield, make one move, and then follows his convoy up the field to pick up the first down.
That's a Crescent Ford first down. Ride the game in style with an F-150 from Crescent Ford. 3 straight 3rd down conversions for Grimsley. Back on the ground, Ty Shoemake, the sophomore back. His first carry gets 2.
Very interested to see the 1-2 punch of Williams and Shoemake tonight. Kind of a yin and yang thing. Williams is going to run behind his pads a little more, brings the power aspect to this offense. Shoemake, a little smaller, can run behind those pads, but he's more of your lightning in a bottle in that sense. Get him going in the pass game and allow him to work in space.
Jesse Tripp and Will Brown, the co-offensive coordinators for the top scoring team in the state a year ago. They were the 2nd leading scoring team in 23. So this Grimsley club can really put it up. Brandon is pressured in. Littlejohn gets him. Roar Nittany Lion. This kid's everywhere defensively.
Boy, he is licking his chops early on. You see that speed kills on the edge, so much so that Faison Brandon has nowhere to go, and he just has to eat that play. You're going to leave number 5 in black and gold all alone. You are asking for trouble. Elijah Littlejohn is a game wrecker.
Loss of 7 on that sack. Great pursuit. 3rd sack for Littlejohn tonight. And this will end quarter number 1. If you like offense, you came to the right place here at Bank of America. When we come back, a big 3rd down coming up for the Grimsley Whirlies. This is the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. Offense early. Battle of 1 and 2 in the state. Couple of touchdowns here in Charlotte. We're back with tonight's winning row. Everyone in that row right there will receive free tickets to the Carolina Classic Fair, October 3rd through the 12th. The Carolina Classic Fair barn to be wild. Tickets available now. A high-scoring first quarter here in Charlotte. Grimsley back with the football to begin the second. Faison Brandon rolls out. Littlejohn pursuit. Nice catch, pick and pop to the corner. That's Kyan Battle's first reception. The senior committed to Davidson.
Now decision time for Darryl Brown and his staff. Get yourself in a manageable 4th down spot here. But the rollout, getting away that time from Elijah Littlejohn. Smart play call, knowing where he is on the field and getting your quarterback and offense away from him. Easy pitch and catch, and the offense looks to stay on the field on 4th down.
Sets up 4th and 3 officially. Brandon back in the red zone, keeps it, dives forward. He's really close. But now a flag comes in, and he's short. But let's check this whistle. Looks like Sam Johnson claiming it's on Grimsley.
If you're West Charlotte, you're certainly hoping that, because any penalty here moves those chains and breathes new life into this drive for the Whirlies.
What do you got for us, Phillip? So that sets up a first down on the trip to the Cook Reynolds red zone. Cook Reynolds running the smart way to get things done.
Take a look here, right down below.
Oh,
you saw right there, right at the top of your screen, the left side. You can't get low and chop out the legs of an offensive player in that situation inside the box.
That's Michael Walker committing a huge penalty.
That's a really good call by this officiating crew. Strong call in a situation like that.
West Charlotte would have had the stop, too. Instead, new life for Brandon, who's 4 of 6 passing. And now a whistle. And a timeout for Darryl Brown and this Grimsley offense.
I like the tempo so far here tonight, though, Evan. You can see both of these teams still trying to feel each other out a little bit here in the second quarter, but now is where you start to see those scripts go away, realizing where you can capitalize on some opportunities, and now the ultimate chess match starts coming into play between these two sidelines, both with exquisite coaching staffs, very talented players.
Really good point, Mark. Stay tuned for tonight's My 48 halftime report. We'll have this week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete introduced with the coaches, principals, and more. My 48 Sports, your home for local sports. And, Mark, because we got some stuff to talk about tonight. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus, even the magic ones, when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing, paid for by NHTSA.
I do wonder, though, Evan, at some point, Grimsley's probably going to have to take a shot down the field, like drop back to pass and take a shot, while still finding a way to stop someone like an Elijah Littlejohn from getting back there and affecting the play on Brandon before he's able to get the football out of his hands.
Can the protection hold up against West Charlotte's defense? 50 sacks a year ago. Here's first and goal off the penalty. Brandon draws movement and a free 5 yards, inducing Damari Wallace. Another example of some inflicted wounds here for West Charlotte defensively.
Very interesting that it's in the same part of the field as they had earlier on offense. Too jittery, not holding your water. Just be patient, wait for that play count, then fly off the football.
Sets up first and goal. Back on the ground. Good tackle, great pursuit. And a stop in the backfield, loss of 4.
But that's because that penetration up front, there was no movement in the middle of that offensive line. So that time, Shoemake has to get outside. He can't put his foot in the ground and get up the field. He has to bounce it outside, and that's where the strength of this West Charlotte defense is on the perimeter. If they can get you going east to west, that's exactly where they want you.
Xavier Porter on the stop, the safety flying in. He's one of 2 seniors, all underclassmen defensively. Battle in motion. Williams slammed at the 5. And that time Brandon may have made a tough decision going to the running back.
You're kind of in no man's land that time because you had Littlejohn, again, flying down the line of scrimmage.
Michael Griffin popping his helmet off with a big hit.
I'm telling you, it's hard. See number 5 just fly in there. Across the board, Michael Griffin, the Virginia Tech target. Sam Johnson alluded to ECU on his mind. Penn State at Littlejohn. I mean, there are talented studs on this defense for West Charlotte.
Here's third and goal. And more movement. Again, Wallace on the penalty. Fourth penalty of this drive for West Charlotte.
And Damari Wallace is an interesting guy, isn't he? 6'4", has the frame to be a dominant force at 340 pounds as a junior. But there are refinements to his game that need to be made, and you can see it there. You want to be aggressive and fire off the football. But when you're so close down here, you've got to be able to stay disciplined.
Keep an eye on DJ Howerton in the red zone, the tight end. Runner Creeper spinning. Is he in? Brandon is not.
Really thought he was short that time, Nevin.
And Grimsley sticking with their offense. Sets up 4th and goal. Brandon, hands off. Williams is in. Touchdown, Grimsley. Persistent running game puts the Whirlies back in front.
Hasn't been a whole lot of success getting into that middle of that offensive line with some push. But that time you see it from that end zone shot by our crew. A nice little hole opens up. Williams able to put his foot in the ground, does not have to go laterally at all. Follows his blockers, finds the crease, and finds 6.
That's a rent a home with a triad touchdown. Rent a home with a triad where property owners and tenants find their perfect fit. Even in this housing market, there are good fits out there, and the red zone running game makes the difference. A quick touchdown for Grimsley. We'll take the timeout. There's the sound of the Whirlies, the second oldest high school in the state. They're whirling to a 7-point lead here in Charlotte. At halftime of this week's Medical Minute, presented by NCDHHS, managing the delivery of health and human-related services for all North Carolinians all across the state. A heart-pulsing first half here in Charlotte, the Queen City, the Keep Pounding Classic, presented by Belk, and a 14-play persistent touchdown drive from Grimsley.
A march, should you say. 14 plays. Right at a defense that is known for being tenacious, strong at the point of attack. Able to handle their business, execute, especially when it counted up front. Push the ball in, pay dirt.
A short kick that lands around the 25. That's a live football. And good coverage, stopping Jasir Gray on the return.
Chess match back and forth. Now Grimsley goes back in front. Now how do the Lions respond offensively? Talking about Faison Brandon attacking down the field. Haven't really seen West Charlotte able to do that just yet. They've been committed to just running the football, playing that smash mouth brand. Their short passes, getting their guys in space and letting them go to work.
So here's Demore Nichols. Up and down passing today, but he's made some plays in the red zone. He works from the 28. Feeds McClain. Nice push from the offensive line, gain of 3. And that time a positive first down play for West Charlotte.
And again, push up front to the heart of that Grimsley defense. It wasn't much. But when you start adding up those plays as the game goes on, as an offensive line, you can kind of grow, and you put that in your back pocket. With every single one of those runs, 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 5 as the game continues.
Quick toss, Nicholson beats a man, and then nice pursuit on the tackle. 3rd and 3 coming up. The stop by Ramir Harris-Dupree, who this Grimsley staff loves defensively.
Absolutely. And he replaces a guy in Josiah Hussey, who was an all-conference DB. So big shoes to fill. But on the perimeter, so far, Harris-Dupree living up to his moniker of being a sound tackler out there and a tactician. Not an easy task to bring down Nicholson in the open field, but he does just that.
Harris-Dupree, an offer from Gardner. Sideline. This was an area West Charlotte dominated, third and shorts last year. The running game, so impressive, over 7 yards a carry. Here's third and medium. Oh, and some movement on the offensive line. 8th penalty for West Charlotte.
Such a good job up front controlling the line that these self-inflicted wounds up front right now just don't seem to make sense. You're handling your business. There's no need and no reason to be jittery.
A lot of penalties on the offensive line as well, which can be inflicting on these drives.
But again, you get to week 1 in the season, nerve-wracking. You're trying to dust off the cobwebs a little bit. Even scrimmages sometimes don't prepare you for what the real thing is throughout the course of your camp.
Here's 3rd and 7. Gray gets the football. And he loses the football. Grimsley. What a big turnover. Now who's got the football? Picked up by the Whirlies. And that's Tristan Wardlaw, the younger brother of Jaden.
Start thinking that snap a little high, but Nichols able to reel it down, get it off to Gray. You think West Charlotte's going to be close right here, but the ball security knocking the football out, that club over the top that's become so useful throughout the sport. Wardlaw able to knock that football out, and Grimsley,
to the other Wardlaw.
Right.
From one brother to the other.
Right. Fortuitous bounce. Gets it back to the number 1 recruit.
Drake and Josh, hug me, my brother. Brandon feeds his tailback. Williams is banged to the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit. Littlejohn on the stop. Michael Griffin tag teams. But Griffin keeps losing his helmet on every play.
Sure does. I'll tell you what, Michael Griffin is all over the place right now. I mean, when it's not Littlejohn, it's Griffin.
And at the high school level, you have to sit at least a play when your helmet comes out.
Griffin, a guy last year, top 10 tackler in the state, a 4-star recruit. A guy who works sideline to sideline, but is not afraid to get downhill either. He will muck it up in the middle of that defense.
Griffin's off the field here on 2nd and 9. Brandon play action. Hucks it deep. Out of the hands of Kyan Battle, the deep threat. Senior receiver, 5 touchdowns a year ago.
That is a tough throw to make down the field. A tight window. The coverage was so good on the back end. There was nowhere to go.
And how about the confidence of Brandon to throw that football?
Sure, but Lige Daniels was so close to his intended target that time that you had to put that ball in a perfect spot. That's great defensive back play.
Top receiver Caden Cato is playing off the bench today. So a new trio of threats for Faison Brandon. The number 1 commit in the state and in the country at 2026. He's 8 of 10 passing here on 3rd down. Back on the ground, and that's going nowhere. Jayshon Shaw sniffs it out. And here comes the punting unit.
The impact of that pass rush early on, you can see some of the decision-making by Grimsley there potentially impacted by what we've seen. That pressure getting back there, 3rd and long. You don't know that you have a lot of time to sit back there and survey the field, even with a guy like Faison Brandon. So try to catch them sleeping that time of the handoff, and no doing. West Charlotte was more than ready for that challenge.
Grimsley punted twice in 2024. Here's their 2nd punt of this new season. Chase Homental to kick it. That could be a really good pin, and dies inside the 10. So we'll take the timeout. West Charlotte gets the football in their red zone. Back when we return to the Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. Welcome back to Bank of America Stadium. Our coverage continues. Also on our live stream tonight, YouTube and Facebook, presented by Tip Top Roofing. Tip Top Roofing, faith, family, football, roofing. Some Tim Riggins lines of advice tonight.
So you're opening the season on fire as usual?
Hey, I'm all about some Texas football, some North Carolina football, all across the country with our Sinclair partners.
Just love me some football, baby. Love it. Glad we're back, starting in a great stadium, great city for it as well. A lot of matchups in the area, too, that have a lot of significance even in week one.
Good punt from Chase Holmental. So Jamori Nichols works from his 12-yard line, fresh off a fumble. Play action. Nichols, a lot of protection. Finch is open. Nichols scrambles, and he's forced to gain a couple. Couldn't connect with his tight end, Rakeem Finch.
Grimsley all too happy, just sit back, cover up those passing lanes, not allow Nichols to get any good glimpse of his receivers running down the field open. Offensive line does a good enough job holding up, but eventually after a while, Nichols is a dynamic playmaker with his feet, decides he wants to take off. Usually a good decision, picks up 5 yards.
2nd and 6. McLean jukes one. And McLean dives forward. That's the running game of West Charlotte that averaged 7 a game. How did they get that going tonight?
Physicality. That was a word that constantly came up when we had our conversation with Coach Greiner this week, was physicality, physicality, physicality. And he said that specifically about the guys in the trenches on both sides of the football. You see the defensive front has done a good job of holding up that offensive line of Grimsley at the point of attack. Now it's got to be this offensive line doing the same thing. Early on, they were capable of doing that. Right now, it seems like it's slowed down and come to more of a stalemate along the trenches.
Under 4 yards of rush for West Charlotte tonight. Quick snap. Nichols pump fakes. He's got to run it. But remember, it's first down. So gains just a yard. Good pursuit by this defensive Grimsley. Cassius Bostic, the team captain, on the stop.
No, to no surprise to anyone, you need to have a spy, someone constantly keeping their eye on Jamori Nichols. So when he breaks contain, you are following him, and there is a body in front of him at all times. At that time, Bostic, fluid to the football, tracking Nichols the entire way and able to bring him down at the line.
Now, West Charlotte seems a little disjointed offensively right now for how much rhythm they had last season.
Right, and right now that's the problem, is there's no rhythm. Whether it's been the penalties throwing them off or negative plays, they have to find something to get back into the flow.
Nichols, quick route. There's Nicholson. Wow, explosive play leading on the slot receiver for 15.
Oh, that'll do it. RPO. You feel that slant come down over the top, and a blitzer comes for Grimsley. No one's home. Nicholson does his job, gets inside position, and allows Nichols to throw an easy dime to him on the slant and go.
Every completion tonight to Dante Nicholson, the Charlotte commit. Back on the ground, McLean. Not much room for Emery. He's spun down after a yard. And this undersized young Grimsley defensive line have stepped up tonight.
Again, they've heard the narrative.
It's 4 new starters on the D-line as well.
And they've heard that narrative. Like, how good is Grimsley going to be this year? They lose all that experience, that size, that competitive nature along their defensive front. And Darryl Brown, the tactician that he is, he knows it. And he probably fed that to his guys, letting them know, hey, they're doubting you. They're telling you this. Right now, game one, they are holding their own against a very experienced West Charlotte offensive line.
Setting up 2nd and 9. Look at this mass protection. And Nicholson dots up a completion. That's King Cobble the second with a 12-yard gain.
Good throw. Great protection up front. A little blitz in the middle of that offensive line, able to gobble that up. And from there, it's Nichols.
Gobble it up or cobble it up?
Gobble it up. From there, Cobble's able to cobble that one in. Bring it down and move the sticks. Great play design that time by West Charlotte. Caught Grimsley off guard. And that's the execution you want. Finding that rhythm now.
That's a Tip-Top Roofing first down. Tip-Top Roofing. Katie Cotton, who's battling an injury this week. We haven't seen him on the offensive end just yet. Explosive slot receiver. So now Rakeem Finch in motion. Here's a blitz. Nice screen, Gilmore. And Gilmore lost the football, but gets it back. And now Nicholson's down. Now everyone's slipping at the middle of the field.
A lot of traction on this field right now. Charlotte FC also plays here for their home game, so a lot of that going on. The Panthers and Steelers played their final preseason games here last night. So this turf gets its fair share of wear and tear throughout the season.
And there's MLS tomorrow night.
Yep.
Charlotte, the epicenter of North Carolina sports for the moment. Keep Pounding Classic. This is game 2. Huff won the opener. Nichols back on the ground. Whoa, that's ending quickly. Great pursuit by Cassius Bostic.
I really like the way Cassius Bostic is playing tonight. He's being the aggressor. Instead of sitting back there and waiting for plays to come to him, right now you saw him a few plays ago bringing down Nichols at the line of scrimmage. This time shoots through a gap like a missile and is able to get back there and bring down the ball carrier. That's what you want to see out of your linebackers. They've got to get up the field, and when they get to the point of contact, make the play.
Explosive from the senior linebacker. This is the strength of Grimsley. All 3 returning starters at that position. And now a whistle and a timeout. Grimsley wants to discuss. This is an interesting position for West Charlotte. 1, from a clock standpoint, and 2, a score. They get the football to start the third.
You just got to worry about handling your business here on 3rd and long. Nichols had some time here on this drive to throw the football. He's always such a dynamic threat running, but you got to know, again, a guy is going to be shaded to him. That's Bostic. Potentially takes one player out of the play for the defense of Grimsley. So find that spot in that defense and capitalize.
And while we have a moment, Rebecca Russell with more on Grimsley.
And we've been noticing Nick Cashubera, the 3-year starter at right tackle, committed to App for next year, has been the biggest leader on the sideline. He comes off the field making sure the team stays level-headed, but he keeps up the same energy, saying, "Stay with me, baby, we got this," he quotes. But when they just failed on that first down, Nick came over and he keeps his offensive line in the right mindset, saying multiple times, the score is 0-0. We're still in this. This is our game. Don't let them get to us, guys.
Thanks, Rebecca. So a 3rd and 9 coming up. That line has been a huge strength for Grimsley this year. The defense is being tested. Look at this movement. Wardlaw, the pressure, and he rips the football loose. Fumble recovered by Grimsley. And that's all Jaden Wardlaw.
Saw Cassius Bostic rip through and make a stop just a little while ago. This time, Wardlaw gets off the edge. Look at this, splits the double team and gets right back there and makes the smart play. Goes for the arm of Nichols as he's going back there. Force the fumble and allow your defense to rally to get the turnover. What a play when your defense needs it at midfield. And now, just like that, it flips. And you put Faison Brandon and this offense back at the field with 50 yards to go, licking their chops.
2 fumbles for Jaden Wardlaw tonight. He's been everywhere defensively. Saying Bryce Davis who now begins his Duke career later next week. Brandon with plenty of time from the 50. Goes to Williams. Not much on that play.
Boy, that West Charlotte defense has been solid against the running game tonight of the Whirlies. That offensive line not able to get much against the strong defensive front.
When Michael Griffin, the Virginia Tech offer, when he keeps his helmet on, he's unstoppable defensively.
Attacking linebackers on both sides. Great play from those linebacker spots so far here in the first half.
Final minute of the second. Brandon steps up. Evades 1. Can't get past 2. Just a yard on 2nd down. Another stop for Griffin.
And now you got to start thinking. You've got to go with 40 seconds left on the clock. You've got to get back up to the ball with only the 1 timeout left to work with.
Yeah, Grimsley burned 2 timeouts on defense earlier this quarter. These are the moments young quarterbacks, how they move from the high school to the college game. Can they handle the 2-minute drill? It's in the hands of Faison on 3rd and 8.
Got to go.
4-man rush. Brandon evades. Here's the legs of Brandon and a first down. A new element for the senior quarterback.
And clock stops there with the first down as well. You got to get up and spike that football. Save time.
Clock starts here, 7 seconds. and the spike. So how do you draw this up? 3 seconds. What's the game plan here for Grimsley?
Throw it in the end zone. Everybody go deep. At this point, I'm just surprised the clock management wasn't better. Usually Darryl Brown and his staff are so good about that, getting guys back to the line of scrimmage with a sense of urgency, and now you just wasted so much time between those last 2 plays.
So elite jump ball threat, DJ Howerton, the Rutgers recruit at tight end, moves outside. What can the number 1 quarterback in the country draw up with 3 seconds? Brandon against the blitz, heaves it deep, wants Cooper, and that ends the first half. Good pressure from West Charlotte. Entertaining offensive first 24 minutes of play.
Take for tack. We expected it to be a heavyweight bout here in Bank of America Stadium. Rightfully so, first half. Trading blows. Grimsley able to get at least one more in there outside of West Charlotte to hold this 7-point lead going into the half.
Good defensive stop there from West Charlotte to keep this a 7-point game, and the Lions will get the football. Rebecca Russell will talk to Darryl Brown in just a moment.
A surprisingly conservative end of the half. Evan, with a minute and a half left here at midfield, you thought maybe that Grimsley would have tried to have been a little more aggressive to get themselves in a position at least to kick a field goal and get some points on the board. I'm a little surprised by that.
An awesome crowd, 2 of the best teams in the state, and it's been the defenses tonight. 3 forced turnovers, the big difference. And here's Rebecca with Coach Brown. Rebecca?
Coach, what stands out to you about the way this game has unfolded so far?
Man, it's been a tough, hard-fought, physical game. Both teams playing really hard. I think both teams are kind of dominating up front defensively. We had made a couple big plays and had one good drive. The turnovers have been big for us, but it's going to be a tough second half. We've got to continue to fight.
What do you need to see from your team in this second half in order to maintain that lead?
Yeah, the same thing. Like, we just got to keep fighting and scrapping and clawing. I mean, we've executed pretty well. I mean, we hadn't hurt ourselves with penalties, turnovers, things of that nature. We got to make sure we do that in the second half and then convert on a few of these drives when we create the turnovers.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
14-7 our score from Bank of America Stadium. Stay with us. Halftime is coming up next.
Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from one of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete is, from Grimsley High School, Drew Searles. Grimsley's Andrew Searles is first team All-Conference, second team All-Area, and was on the 2024 4-H State Championship Grimsley Whirlies team. He is on the National Honor Society, an Eagle Scout for the Boy Scouts of America, and is an entrepreneur starting his own lawn care business in 2023. Drew gives back to his community by volunteering in the Kaiser Middle School Mentor Program, the Miracle League of High Point, the DJ Reader Football Camp, and serves on the Under the Bridge Project. Drew and other nominated students are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes of the Week, sponsored by Tatum and Atkinson. Injured in a car wreck? Call the Heavy Hitters.
Congratulations to our student athlete. We're now joined with Jed O'Donnell, the principal for the Grimsley Whirlies, and what a year it's been for you. And last year as well, to end the season at Keenan Stadium with the state championship, starting the season here. I think what excites you about this season?
You know, it's a fairy tale come true, really. Who would have thought a British guy moving over to America, and then the end of the season in the Keenan and we start the season in the Panthers Stadium is the American dream. You know, our football team represents everything that is great about our school: teamwork, grit, and working together for a common goal. So it was an unbelievable season, and it's going to be a great season this season.
What have you noticed tonight? What has it been like for you to be here for the student section, the band? What has it meant for you to be part of this classic?
No, it's incredible. Like, we have such a huge student body, and parents and families, and the band and the cheerleaders and the whirlettes. You know, we might have come to the Queen City, but definitely we are the Kings.
And now you guys start school on Monday, I heard. What is your message to the Whirlies? Because I know you always have good.
Well, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of our Whirlies, from Harkers Island at the coast to Boone in the mountains. We appreciate your support. We hope that you're doing you proud. And remember, as always, go Whirlies.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
All right, well, when we come back, an interview with West Charlotte High School principal, highlights and more. Stay with us. You're watching the My 48 Halftime Report. Welcome back to Bank of America Stadium. You're watching My 48 Halftime Report. We're now joined by Riley Fields, the Director of Community Relations for the Carolina Panthers. Why is it important for the Carolina Panthers to host an event like this right here?
Yeah, Rebecca, really it's about the important role that high school football plays in communities across our region and celebrating that role. And tonight, I think you can see that it really is a celebration of all that's great with high school football. So when you talk about football played at the grassroots level, from a Carolina Panthers standpoint, it's really important for us to support football at all levels, from youth all the way up to high school. Tonight certainly is a fabulous showcase.
Now, I'm sure people are wondering, how did this all come together? How do you pick the teams?
Yeah, so, okay, there's the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, which has drama and pressure to it. Then there's the Keep Pounding High School Classic Selection Committee that's here. So we actually have a really formal process in which we allowed teams from across the two-state region to submit formal applications to play in the game. And we had a blue ribbon panel selection committee comprised of leaders from the corporate and sports world who took their assignment really seriously and did a lot of robust debate back in February, March, and we came to our matchups that we had this evening. And so when the preseason rankings came out, we're like, the committee did their jobs very well.
And seeing this game unfold here tonight, being here in the stadium, obviously we can feel the energy. What have you noticed from the fans being here tonight?
The energy, I mean, you just hit on it. The energy is just, the bands are playing, the fans are passionate. Having just the high school electricity in our stadium has just been amazing. And I think that's why you do it. It's the juice. And I think really we wanted to create the ultimate high school football experience for fans, for players, for coaches, and the fans certainly are such a huge part of that. And obviously they've shown up in force.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Riley Fields. We appreciate you being here and putting on this event for high school football. Stay with us. Right next, we have the 2024 Friday Night Rivals season highlights.
Best Thursday night lights and Friday night Rivals highlights from across the country.
He steps up, wants to go for it all up the right side and pulled down at the 20. Inside the 20 again is Katori Marion.
Our lifter guy, a lot of their offense, and one block kick deserves another, right? Still loose. Alamo Heights has it, but still not out of bounds. We can get a couple of points here. Another pitch, and they've got room. Miracle on the Mississippi. You got to be kidding. It's Max Bacon.
Takes for himself now towards the left sideline, still on his feet, still up. D-Tech twirls in. Touchdown of the night as Nashville Christian.
Now just going to heave it up, look into the far corner, tipped up in the air, caught by J.J. Bush. Touchdown, Bobcats and Theodore.
This young man coming out to the field right now is Jackson Maynard. He is suffering from Duchenne's syndrome. His family has established the Little Hercules Foundation, which is something that helps the young man and raises awareness for what he is battling all across the country. A lot of points will be scored during the season in games, but none bigger than that one right there. Touchdown, Jackson Maynard.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is proud to present you with this Medical Minute.
For the behavioral health urgent care, what we do is we help clients in need and get connected to resources to get help with mental health, substance use, case management services.
Anybody can come in 24/7 to get an assessment completed. The first step is the hardest step, but once you get in, we'll make sure that we walk you through the process and explain things clearly so that you feel more comfortable with coming in.
Behavioral health urgent care is where you go when you have an emergent or urgent need. The same as you would take a broken arm to the emergency room, except you're coming to us because you aren't feeling emotionally well.
I think we offer comfort, having a sounding board, having somebody who understands and can empathize with what they are going through.
To learn more, visit ncdhhs.gov/crisis services.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Down here on the sidelines at Bank of America Stadium, now joined by Lillian Craven with the Carolina Classic Fair. First, tell us when the fair is and what can fans expect at the fair this year?
We will kick off the fair October 3rd. That's a Friday at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, and it'll run through October 12th. And we've got lots of fun, new, exciting things, rides, food. It's all coming. So check us out on social media for all the news.
And we heard that there's a competition taking place. What is happening?
So we're introducing a live Lego building competition for adults 18 and up. So that is open until September 1st, as are all our other competitions. So definitely check those out.
And a fierce competition here with our pretzel stacking contest, always with Friday night rivals between Cooper and Elliott with Grimsley. Finally, tell us, where can people buy tickets?
You can buy tickets at carolinaclassicfair.com and on our ticket page and our Facebook and Instagram.
Well, I know I'm excited for the food, and I know someone else who's excited about the food, and that's our guys up in the booth. Evan, Mark, fair food.
We've got a pretzel winner. Impressive. And they're celebrating here in Bank of America. Look at this place. How could you not be impressed tonight?
This is amazing.
And let's dive into some of those first half stats, because we got a lot of football going on, a lot of excitement. Some of the numbers here, Mark, early, pretty even statistically, but the 2 turnovers important.
Massive in this game so far. These teams pretty well evenly matched right now, but those 2 turnovers by this Grimsley defense have been massive in either stopping drives or getting this offense back on the field and allowing them to go down and put points on the board.
So penalties and turnovers, the big story. We got a 1-score game, and we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk to West Charlotte coach Sam Greiner and get ready for the second half. This is the Friday Night Rivals game of the week here at Bank of America, the Keep Pounding Classic. Second half coming up next.
Talk. Welcome back to the second half at Bank of America Stadium. For the Keep Pounding High School Classic, we're now joined by West Charlotte head coach Sam Greiner. And, Coach, you said the biggest key coming in today was the physicality.
Yeah, I thought the physicality was okay. Didn't know turnovers were going to hurt us so much. And then, like, the penalties, you know, it's like 8-1, or it's pretty bad on our penalties. We gave up 2 first downs, 2 touchdowns on penalties, and we gave them first down. So it was tough times on that right now. So
how do you find a rhythm?
Got to get in our rhythm, get the ball back right now. We got to go down and score, flip the script, make it 14-14, and then I think our defense is going to be okay. We made some adjustments, and we should be good to go.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Rebecca. There's thoughts from West Charlotte, some things to clean up in this first half, and yet West Charlotte gets the football, and they have an opportunity to tie it right here out of the break.
We talked about some of the mistakes, those turnovers, the untimely penalties for the Lions on both facets of the game on offense and defense, but yet they only find themselves down by 7 points going into half number 2.
How about Hudson Cooper coming out of nowhere for 53?
Love the play call there. Get the football out of Faison Brandon's hands quickly. Allow Cooper to go to work in space, and with a convoy in front of him, that was an easy touchdown to open this one up.
4 of the 5 receptions to the Cooper tandem, the brothers making things happen. And then the creativity of Jamori Nichols.
We'll talk about the dual threat that he is, forces the defense to play him instead of the receiver, finds Dante Nicholson in the end zone, wide open, as the defense has to come up and account for his running ability.
That's West Charlotte tied it, and then Grimsley on the ground. This was really close, but sneaking in on 4th down.
Great job getting enough push up front, creating enough of a crevice that time to give Michael Williams enough space to find pay dirt, take the lead, and ultimately bring us to our score going into half number 2.
Top 2 teams in the state, one in the 8A new division in terms of total population, and in 7A with the likes of Grimsley, Cardinal Gibbons, Weddington, Huff. The 8A is big, the 7A might be bigger, and we see 2 of the best tonight.
Absolutely. A lot of different matchups here in week 1. Kind of uncharacteristic, even for North Carolina high school football, to have this many monumental week 1 matchups. But there have been a lot of good ones around the area today, and certainly none better than what we've seen here in half number 1. Exciting time here in second half.
Here's a short kick. Nicholson from the 30 just dances out of bounds. Jamori Nichols, he was 7 of 8 in that first half, and yet West Charlotte didn't have rhythm. How do they find more in the running game in the second half?
Well, it had to do with 2 things. Again, talking about the penalties already, that takes you out. But when it wasn't penalties in the second quarter, there were a lot of negative plays or plays that went for no yardage. And that really messes up the flow of your offense. You saw right before that final turnover they had towards the end of the first half, had a couple plays where they were able to move the ball effectively, and you felt like they were getting that rhythm back before the turnover halted any of that momentum. So if they can do that, get those rhythm plays back in motion and find the flow of the game back in their offense, it's going to pay a lot of dividends and get them back into a position where they're going to be possibly winning this football game.
Jamori Nichols in West Charlotte, they went 40-0 in summer 7-on-7. He was an elite passer of the football. Now he's leaning on the running game in this second half. Nice start for Emery McLean and Jasir Gray on the ground. Gain of 7 on first down.
And around to the outside, you see, again, getting to the outside and using the team speed they have across the board. Really love that. Get horizontal, and then you can get upfield with the burst. Good seal blocking as well along the edge to allow Gray to get room to work with.
Second and short. Here's a quick toss. This is Landon Gilmore. Nice cut, and Landon gets the first down. How about the quick passing here? How does that play a factor?
It does. It gets you guys in space. We can't emphasize that enough. When you have a team and skill position players like West Charlotte does that have so much lateral quickness and straight line speed as well, you want to be able to get them the football not only as quick as possible, but with as much room as possible. So they're able to create on their own and get those yards you know they can when they're in those one-on-one situations.
And that's how Nichols has been so effective. He's 8 of 9. He's dinking and dunking, but being efficient, moving the football.
But that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be these deep down the field shots as long as you're getting those yards and continuing to march down the field.
Back in the hands of Gilmore. That reverse is going the wrong way, and what a stop. Jackknifed by Harris Dupree. And a loss of 9.
But there are times where you go to that well one too many, especially in a row when you're trying to continue to get outside. A defense is going to settle in, and they start playing that way. That's where the rhythm of the game comes into it. When you start to feel that defense expand a little bit, start attacking the heart of it and getting into the middle of the field.
That's a first-year starter, Ramir Harris Dupree. 3 starting DBs have graduated for Grimsley.
Second time he's made an excellent stop in the open field as well.
2nd and 15. Nichols pump fakes, goes short. That's Rakeem Finch. And a nice gang tackle. Patrick Carter on the stop.
I thought it was interesting with our conversation with Coach Greer this week that he brought up the fact that there was a test that Jamari Nichols took, where it kind of gives you the mental aspects of someone, the intangibles that you can't teach. And a 97 percentile in mental capacity as far as making off-schedule decisions, just not turning the football over. That's what you see there. It doesn't have to be, again, deep down the field shots. It doesn't have to be these spectacular plays. Just making the right one and getting yards where you can on display there.
Quick decision on 3rd and 7, back outside. And a near the first down play. He'll be a yard short. That quick decision making, we go back to the college game. Trevor Lawrence at Clemson was so smart, manipulating the pocket, beating defenders. That's how Clemson won a national title. Nichols has that mental aptitude at the high school level, makes this West Charlotte team dangerous.
Sometimes doing your job can be just enough. And if you're doing it and you're executing at its highest point, that's what some players do so well.
4th and 2. It's the running game. And did he get the first? They'll give it to him. Nice dive forward for Nicholson. He gets 2.
He's right there.
The Crescent forward first down. They'll mark it. And now a measurement coming.
I do like the play design on that as well. You talk about short yardage situations. You don't want to be flat-footed as a runner. So what do they do that time? West Charlotte brings Nicholson in motion. See it here, the pitch right back out to him. Not Nicholson, excuse me. That was McLean just taking the direct snap. But you see he gets a running start that time. You don't dilly-dally. You get straight up to the football, and you get a running start in a short yardage situation that you've got to have.
West Charlotte got the football to start this second half, and they go right back to McLean. Good job pushing the pile for 2 more yards. And a commitment to the running game in the second half.
And you see it, and this is exactly how the football game started for West Charlotte. There were not a lot of passes, certainly down the field, not a lot of opportunities where Nichols was dropping back and surveying the field. It was getting the football out of his hands quick, or they were running the football into the heart of this Grimsley defense. And right now, they're driving the football with the same formula.
Just 3 yards a carry in the first half. Explosive in the second. How about that chuck from our lead referee? He's got a boomerang arm. Low reception, Nicholson. What a tackle! Whoa, he was grabbing laundry. Cassie Barnes with the stop.
That was one heck of a play because it certainly seemed like Nicholson was getting out. He was out there in a hurry. He makes that inside move he's so good at with that quick first step and just not able to get away. That is one heck of a play by Barnes in the open field.
Barnes signed with South Carolina earlier this summer. You see the skills that Coach Beamer loves defensively.
It's another college recruit on this field.
27 total recruits between the D1 and D2 levels. Sets up 3rd and medium. Nichols out of the pocket. A lot of pressure. And Nichols finds Finch. Good reception for the Air Force commit.
Another one of those surefire plays. Get outside the pocket, move a little bit, and put stress on the defense. And Rakeem Finch, obviously a favorite target of Jamari Nichols, and you can see why. Sure hands, able to find those soft spots in the defense, and a good guy to go to move those chains like any classic tight end would do.
In this state where 5-star tight end Kendra Harrison roams at Reidsville High School. This is the next iteration here with Rakeem Finch. A great state for developing tight ends. And that running game goes nowhere. Of course, in a building where Greg Olson made a career as an elite pass catcher. Now he works with Fox Sports. A run for 3 yards on first down.
So interesting how the tight end position has evolved over time, right? Like even since Greg played here in this very stadium, more of an inline kind of guy, but would be able to get out, work the middle of the field. Now you see them going in motion, almost like receivers, but the blocking aspect still being there. Rakeem Finch, a prototypical version of the modern-day tight end.
Back to McLean. There's a nice hole. Largest rush of the night for Emory McLean, and he squirts for almost 6.
I mean, they are content just pounding away in the middle of that defense, trying to wear them down. And right now, Grimsley, to their credit, is doing a good enough job of holding up at that point of attack and not allowing big gains to take place in the middle of that defense.
Sets up 3rd and 4. Nicholson outside. Great catch by Nicholson. But he is short. He gained 3. He needed at least 5. Now some decisions here if you're Sam Greiner and this coaching staff.
Well, nothing you can really do there if you're Nicholson. The pass comes out high from Nichols, and all you can do is just catch the football, get out of bounds, and gain what you can, but it may have been a yard. Brings up 4th.
Decision time for West Charlotte. 4th and short. Coach Greiner checking the play clock, and he'll call timeout. We'll take the timeout. When we come back, West Charlotte has some decisions to make. Opening drive of this second half. And a 1-touchdown game here in Charlotte in our F&R Game of the Week. Welcome back to Charlotte. Coming up, we have our player of the game. Find out tonight's Carolina Classic Theater player of the game, the Carolina Classic 10 Days of Awesome. And in the fourth quarter, our Caring Hands play of the game. Caring Hands Home Health. You put your loved ones in our Caring Hands. And in the fourth quarter, stay tuned for our Norris Automotive drive of the game. Norris Automotive, complete foreign and domestic auto repair. Here's a 4th down, misdirection to McLean, and he powers inside the 20 for a 1st down. Nice creativity in the run game.
Well, it worked once before on 4th down. Why not just go right back to it? You need those tough yards in the middle of that defense, and Emory McLean Jr. is just the guy to get it done. Only had 300 rushing yards last year, but so far here tonight, he's been that guy in the middle of the defense to get those tough yards. Been very impressive running behind those shoulder pads.
This drive alone, 9 rushes. A Crescent Ford 1st down on the ground for West Charlotte. Here's 1st and 10. Quick toss to Finch. Dives and the fumble. Another turnover. Oh man, West Charlotte 3 costly mistakes offensively. Now, did the ground force the fumble? That is the question.
That is the question. It was awful close. See, Finch again talked about the modern day tight end gets that and splits out wide. No, that's a fumble. That's a live football. Fighting to get those extra yards. But ball security has to take precedent there. You have 3 bodies flying all around you and just slips out. Tough situation. You don't want to scold him because he's fighting for those yards, but you've got to take priority there, and that's ball security deep inside enemy territory.
How about 3 fumble recoveries? Cassie Barnes with the scoop. And now Grimsley works inside their 5-yard line. 2 touchdown halting turnovers for West Charlotte. The heavy package in for Grimsley offensively. Williams on the ground. Explosive 1st down run. And Williams tripped up at the 14, gain of 9.
Really the first time tonight Grimsley has found anything against this defense of West Charlotte on the ground. Good job. The misdirection, shifting the formation from one side to the other, allowing the defense to get back over. Little John follows and gets away from the play. Great play design that time by this coaching staff of Grimsley.
Micah Williams, who fills the shoes of Mitchell Summers, a 6,000-yard rusher in his 4-year tenure. And now movement on the defensive line. Brandon quick out, finds Cooper. That's Hudson Cooper. Good reception, and he's leveled in the secondary. Davian Jones, the missile. Pardon me, Alex Cooper, the reception.
Alex Cooper getting out there again.
Not the podcaster, Alex Cooper.
But the football player, the snagger, Alex Cooper, able to get out there. Good composed throw by Faison Brandon. Just read it, waited for that spot. And that's the anticipation that they've been looking for from him, to take that next step to those collegiate throws. Where's your anticipation on throwing the football?
That's a crescent forward first down. Kyan Battle in motion. Here's Battle, and he goes nowhere. Nice stop for Elijah Littlejohn. And this defensive line of West Charlotte, they're winning the horizontal game.
And that's where they want you. That's exactly where they want you. So much speed defensively that they can run sideline to sideline across all 3 levels of that defense. So they want to be able to work you more towards the sideline because that works in their favor. Even on a play there where your defensive front gets pushed back a little bit, they're still able to recover and make a play on the ball along the perimeter.
Here's 2nd and 7. Good handoff and another pursuit. Sam Johnson, this defensive line's winning the battle up front.
They are, and there's no way that they weren't challenged all week long, all camp long, and certainly at halftime to continue to fight and win those battles up front. It seemed like they were losing their grip a little bit as the half went on. But right now, past that first rush on the first play of this drive, they have stood tall thus far.
Remember, Grimsley recovered a fumble inside their 5-yard line. And West Charlotte needing a stop to open the second half. A defense that pitched 7 shutouts last year, led the state defensively. Pursuit and another fumble. Brandon able to fall on top of it, but a loss of 5 and the punting unit comes out.
And that was almost cataclysmic. Back at the quarterback, Brandon just not able to get away.
They hit the running back as well.
No, I feel like it was just a lapse in concentration by Faison Brandon that time. You see here, he's trying to get that handoff quickly and may have caught the shoulder of Williams coming down, but Brandon, again, we talked about ball security on the other side. He's got to prioritize that as well. Lucky enough, he's able to get back on top of it.
Third punt for Chase Humentil, who was the field goal kicker and kickoff guy a year ago. Looks like Grimsley doesn't have enough players on the field. Late snap. And a good boot despite that trouble. Returnable for the Lions. This is J.D. McDonald. Gets a block. And McDonald into Grimsley territory as we'll take the timeout. Couple of stops defensively. Grimsley and West Charlotte turning into a chess match. It's a one-score game here in our Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Caring Hands Home Health. Welcome back to the Peak Pounding Classic. Matchup of the two top teams in the state, Grimsley and West Charlotte. And a defensive stop for the Lions. Now has West Charlotte capitalized on this end.
running the football, playing physical. I'm telling you, it's the physicality aspect is so big for them. You know Coach Greer is going to challenge them to be more physical at the point of attack after what he's seen. You saw in the last drive, they're driving because they're being physical before the turnover.
Back to the running game, and Grimsley answers the call. Good pursuit by Nasir Crawford.
That all being said, this is starting to turn into a battle of attrition and battle in the trenches right now, buddy. The way that these lines are going tick for tack, blow for blow, back and forth right now.
The former offensive lineman, and you must love this matchup.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I think this is exactly what you want week one, is the challenging parts where executing comes into play so much more than it normally does. Those big guys have got to pave the way up front on either side.
Low snap for Nichols. The screen is caught. Finch is fumbled. Picked up by a lineman. Oh, a young man's dream at that size, but a loss of 5 on the play.
I can tell you, once you pick up that football, everything changes as a lineman.
You're thinking end zone.
Oh, you're thinking dreams. Validation, you're going to change positions, become a running back. Normally not so much. Great defensive stop, again forcing yet another fumble coming down on that play. You cannot say enough about how this defense for Grimsley has attacked the football tonight. Patrick Carter coming in like a heat-seeking missile.
Ian Smith had the night of his life. It doesn't count, though. The fumble loses 5 yards. 3rd and 18. Quick toss. Sincere Gray gets the penalty yardage back, but that's it. Back to the original line, and the 4th down coming up. By the way, stay tuned tonight for highlighting our school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a bus when the stop arm is out, and the stop arm of this defense at Grimsley forcing the punt.
It's got to just be such a pain. See the offense go on the field, midfield, you get the football back. Your defense does a great job of not allowing a drive to get down the field. You get great field position, and you do really almost absolutely nothing with it.
And this is interesting. West Charlotte uses a timeout because they don't have enough players. I wonder in that spot, is a timeout necessarily worth it? You just take the penalty there because of the time situation in the game.
Realistically, yeah. Now you're talking about a minute left, just over it in the 3rd quarter. But as you go along, to your point, Evan, we're talking about a game where it's only a 7-point game and only 21 points have been put on the board in total. So those timeouts are going to become more critical down the line as long as this game continues to go the way that it has. And you want to save those as much as possible so when you're getting to those closing seconds, if you need them, you still have them available.
It's been a game of missed opportunities for West Charlotte. Won 9 straight games after losing to state semifinalist Huff in the regular season. Win the 3A title, all the expectation. And Coach Greiner said, we need to play clean football. We didn't have a second scrimmage due to weather cancellation. And it looks like in these first 3 quarters, not on all cylinders.
Oh, and his really one of his quotes that he kind of stood out when we talked to him was that his guys have earned the right to be here, and they have. And this is an opportunity for them to really show that they belong amongst the state's elites. And they've hung tough, but it's been those miscues that have really hurt them to this point, where we could be potentially talking about a completely different ball game at this point. The 3 fumbles and tons of penalties that have gone against them have not helped in any sort of way.
Following the timeout, 4th down punt. Nicholson boots it away. And a fair catch there at the 18.
I think he had some room to work with there.
Cooper electing to keep the football. And meanwhile for Faison Brandon, 7 of 11, 111 yards. What has he done to move the football tonight?
It's been the quick release. We heard about that during our meeting with Coach Brown this week, that he wanted to see the ball get out of his hands quicker, whether it be by play design or just recognition and commitment to the play. Just getting that football out of his hands quicker, protecting himself and running the offense. I think we've seen a lot of that here tonight. Not the deep down the field passing that maybe a lot of people were expecting from the nation's #1 recruit.
Brandon to end this 3rd quarter, tosses outside. Nice cut, so much room. And barrel and bodies, Ty Shoemake gets nearly 20.
One time, just able to get out on the perimeter that time. Contain was there. The defense isn't able to get over. And Ty Shoemake, by the time he got back to the line of scrimmage, had so much room to work with. Just getting downfield, getting ahead of steam, and finishing that run with aggression.
Also, thanks for joining us on tonight's Tip Top Roofing live stream. Faith Family Football Roofing and Ty Shoemake for 20. Quick toss. There's Caden Cato. We noted he was not a starting lineup tonight. Coaching decision, makes his first reception after a 1,000-yard season.
Guy who's a dynamic playmaker, certainly one of the ones that while he's on the field, you need to pay attention to. He was a focal point of this offense last year, topping that 1,000-yard mark.
Cato with 11 touchdowns, one of the best receivers in the state. And this will end the third quarter as he gets an opening touch from the Tennessee quarterback, Faison Brandon. There's the dab it up for his teammate. He knew the moment, getting him back on the pitch. And we'll take the timeout. Here in the Queen City, entertaining first three quarters. A battle for number one in the state when we return.
And then I'm going to talk about the goalposts. If you want to just show the goalposts. The field here at Bank of America Stadium has a busy stretch, 4 games in just 4 days. Last night, the NFL game for the Carolina Panthers. Tonight, 2 high school football games. And on Sunday, an MLS game. I talked with Danny Lucido, the
Okay, so Grimsley starts with the football here in the fourth quarter. Caden Cato back on the field. Number 1 receiver here for Grimsley on 2nd and 8. Brandon quickly to Kyan Battle. Nice tunnel screen. And there's a first down. The quick passing has been efficient tonight for Grimsley.
Well, that was the same kind of pass that we saw them score a touchdown on to open up this contest. That time, Battle comes inside on the tunnel screen, well laid out. Got some linemen out in front of him. Pretty picture perfect, honestly, from an execution standpoint on the screen game.
Daryl Grimsley said Battle is really good as a blocker. We want to utilize him more as a receiver this year. It's been important for Faison Brandon. 5 different players have caught a pass tonight. The top recruit in the country runs forward, spins away. And how about the use of his running game? It's one thing to be an elite passer, but this dual threat in college, so important to move the legs.
Well, I think there's times where you're looking him drop back to pass. And he surveys for a second, and then he tucks and runs. And a lot of people think, why don't you stand back there and wait? Well, that's not how the play is designed all the time.
Think of what Arch Manning can do this year at Texas in his 4 starts. He was a runner, Also a thrower, but his legs make him the next level. That's where Brandon can dominate.
More and more times now in football, there are plays that only have one read, and you allow your quarterback to make a play, whether it's with his arm or with his legs.
He feeds the running back this time in 2nd and 4. Actually turns into something, and then a fumble picked up by the Lions. Hear him roar. What a scoop by Caden Smith.
All the turnovers that Grimsley's been able to force in this contest to this point. Finally, West Charlotte is able to capitalize on one of their own. The second effort, not able to get him down. But it's the pursuit by this Lions defense to get there, continue to fight, and the ball just squeaks out. Shoemake not able to hold on to it, and the Lions recover to get themselves back in it.
After 3 West Charlotte fumbles, the Lions get one back. Caden Smith, whose brother is playing at Kentucky, Jaden right now, defensive lineman. Nichols back to work after the turnover. Keeps the football. Quarterback on the move, and look at Nichols staying in bounds, picking up 15, but there is a flag. Let's see if this comes back.
I wonder, a couple of linemen holding their hands up. I wonder if one of them was downfield, thinking that that football was coming out.
It was a long developing play, too, which is hard to understand your bearings.
The interesting part about this, though, is that the pass wasn't thrown. It was Nichols the entire time. So if linemen were even downfield, the quarterback has the football. That was a run. So in that situation, you don't throw a flag because no pass was thrown.
And that's what the side judge is explaining to Philip Spade, our lead referee. How do they interpret this call? Or will they pick up the flag? So not only the run, an extra 10 yards, that turns into a 30-yard play.
Absolutely, and a big turn in momentum to start this drive. Now not only do you get it in pretty decent field position just outside of your own 40, but now on one play alone, you get your rushing yards, you get the penalty yards. Now you're inside the opposing 40. What a turn.
Yeah, that hold on Cassie Barnes holding the receiver. So from the 34, Nichols steps back. Tunnel screen incomplete. Wanted Nicholson. And while Grimsley's living on the short passes, West Charlotte struggled on those plays.
Exactly, and Wardlaw had a couple of words that time for Nichols right in his face. You want that pressure to get upfield. As an offensive line, you want to invite that pressure upfield. However, you've got to hold off for just a second, give a little budge, hold, and then release. It allows your quarterbacks in the play to develop and get those routes down. Then you can get downfield, but you can't let go too soon. Otherwise, that pressure gets there and it can still affect the play.
Only the second incompletion tonight for Nichols. He's 15 of 17. And now some movement before the snap. In arena football, that play's perfect. In high school football, it doesn't work the same for Rakeem Finch. That's the old pick and roll play.
There you go.
Remember back in the arena where you could run 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, get the head start?
Oh, my gosh. Let's be real honest for a second. Few things were more electric than watching some dude just
than watching the Arizona Rattlers and the LA Avengers put up 100 points.
The Orlando Predators, sir. Arena football, man. Whew.
Hey, if you like offense, it was all offense early.
You couldn't get enough of it.
All defense late in this football game. 2nd and 15 off the penalty. Nichols steps back. All the time. Deep shots. Incomplete. Wanting King Cobble.
Had him earlier in the play. Cobble actually got out. He breaks contain along the sideline. Nichols saw it, but he thought better of it. If he just cuts that one loose along the sideline, he's got him for a big gain, if not more. But that time holds onto it too long. Cobble has to adjust his route and then works his way into double coverage that time by Grimsley.
Grimsley's secondary, an experienced unit, and they're making life difficult for West Charlotte. despite the high completion percentage. Not a lot of deep plays.
But those have been on shorter routes. Not a lot of those deep routes. They haven't really hit on anything down the field so far.
Here's 3rd and 15. Nichols all the time. Goes short. Finds Jones. Breaks one. He's right at the sticks, but short. 4th and 2 coming up.
Oh, what an effort by Jones. Gets that ball about 5 to 6 yards short of the line of scrimmage, or the line to gain, to move the sticks, but able to work back outside, takes that route, and then the dive to get a couple extra yards at the end of the play. It puts your offense in a position where they can really work with some stuff here on 4th down.
Here comes another offensive lineman sprinting on. The jumbo set with Clinton Roberts checking in. 4th and 2. Oh, and the 3rd timeout call by West Charlotte.
Wow.
So none to work with. Wow, that could be huge in this 4th quarter.
Man, oh man. Well, part of that is the fact that another helmet came off during the play.
Let's take the timeout. Big 4th down decision. West Charlotte. You see Sam Griner putting work to himself. I'm going to strap this bad boy up. We got a 4th down out of this timeout. Welcome back to Bank of America, the Keep Pounding Classic and our Friday Night Rivals game of the week. Hey, everybody, I'm Evan Budrovich with Mark Covert. A game of turnovers. How does West Charlotte clean up this drive?
Oh, it's just execution. I think that's the only thing that's really held them back all night long, has been the ability to execute across the entire phase of the game so far. Those fumbles, again, the penalties that we've alluded to so many times already, have been the major setbacks that have held them back through the course of this football game.
Sets up an important 4th and 2. On the running game, Nichols keeps it. Big hole and tripped up at the 15. Huge play by E.J. Davis to save the touchdown.
Man, what a read that time by Jamori Nichols. How about that? Holds it, the read option right at the point. Look at that. The linebacker sucks down, does not even see him go by. Searles just ignored Nichols. Completely sold out to the run, does not see him go by. A mental error that time. Nichols gets out and does what he does quite well, running the football with efficiency and speed.
13 touchdowns in the playoffs on the ground for Nichols. He was so good running the football in the state title run. Enters the Cook Reynolds red zone, 1st and 10. Back to McClain, bounces out, and he's stonewalled. Great sliding tackle. Cassie Barnes in this defense.
I like the way Cassie Barnes plays. There's a physical nature to him, but not just him, but the entire defensive backfield of Grimsley. You can see them. They're up at the line of scrimmage. They are not shying away from contact here. Just taking on the block. Able to hold his own, get outside, and force McClain to put his feet in the ground. But he stumbles. Barnes makes that play.
2nd down. Nice catch, Nicholson. And he pushes to the 7. Sets up 3rd and 5 coming up.
Talking about that physical nature. Nicholson, a little surprising for a guy of his size. Very strong at the point of attack as well. You talk about that quick first step that he has that is so good. But he's also great at generating force. His steps are very intentional. He's able to get a lot of friction and traction down the field. Allows him to move some defenders.
Critical 3rd and goal. And some movement. No call. Remember, no timeouts left for West Charlotte. An audible here for Nichols. 2 red zone turnovers. Will that play a factor? 3rd and short. Gray. He's short. Wardlaw and this D-line are everywhere.
Now you got to think this 4th down is going to be in the hands of Jamari Nichols one way or another. He's going to have to drop back to pass here, try to catch this Grimsley defense sleeping, but no, sir. The Whirlies staying home, playing the run that time to perfection, and now an absolutely gigantic 4th down in this football game.
West Charlotte electing not to kick. Here's 4th down. Nichols running out of the pocket. His legs juke. Nichols, 1st down. And he's to the 1. Elusive play by the junior QB.
Sometimes making the right play is just enough and is all you need, and he is exactly what the doctor ordered in that department. Jamari Nichols recognizes, does not force, and then just uses his God-given ability to get down the field with those legs and pick up the 1st down.
Nichols again. He's in. Nichols, touchdown. One of the best juniors in the state puts West Charlotte back on the board.
I show you speed on one play, I present power on the next. Nichols driving those feet and getting pushed by his offensive line up front, right where he needs it to plow his way into the end zone. We are a point after away from a tie game, Evan.
That's a rent a home of the Triad touchdown, where property owners and tenants find their perfect fit. Angel Ruiz is blocked. Bad snap. Wow, this is costly. So Grimsley hangs on to the lead. Special teams blunder here for West Charlotte. We'll take the timeout. That's a tired man. 1-point game here at Bank of America Stadium. Grimsley gets the football back after this. Welcome back to Charlotte. The kickoff here for West Charlotte after the touchdown. Now remember, Mark, a huge missed extra point keeps this lead at 1 for Grimsley.
And think about when it happens. They have no timeouts left in this game. We're only 6 minutes away from the conclusion of this one, and an extra point. Talked about the execution.
Well, that kick wasn't going in.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't blocked.
Angel Ruiz hit a line drive.
Sure did.
That was a question mark for West Charlotte coming into the year, not a strength of special teams. And what a big difference that play makes. Now the number 1 commit in the country, Faison Brandon, has been so efficient. 8 of 12. Works here on 1st down. Pump fake. Oh, look at that space. Here goes Cooper. He's to the 30. Hudson Cooper. And he's hurt after that big reception for 50.
That's a nice little play design right there. Just sits in the pocket, able to just stand like a statue, plant his feet and fire down the field to Cooper, who takes a shot at the end of that play.
Here comes Daryl Brown and the coaching staff for Grimsley. That's not a good sign. Hudson Cooper, whose brother Alex has been big in this game tonight.
Think about what he has meant here so far tonight.
Well, and this Cooper tandem have been so big. 32-yard pitch and catch.
Hudson with the opening touchdown of the night. Alex has had some timely catches as well down the field.
Oh, that's great to see. Might have just had the wind knocked out of him there on a humid night here in Charlotte.
Great play design, though. Drawn up that time. Excellent execution. And your quarterback can just sit back there in the pocket, not have to move, plant his feet down the field to make an accurate throw. That is as good as it gets. The offensive line doing its job. Schematically, you call the right play. Everything works.
2 completions of 30-plus for Brandon. Everything else, dink and dunk. But he's been efficient, especially in the second half. Here's a fresh set of downs after the 38-yard play. Back to Williams. Nice run, 7 yards.
The amount of fumbles we've seen in this football game, not even ones that have been turned over, but just in general. You would think that both these coaching staffs in the waning minutes of this football game are telling their guys, hey, cover up the football.
4 fumbles in this game, 4 lost fumbles. Halted a West Charlotte scoring drive back in the third quarter. 2 tight ends set with DJ Howardson checked in. Brandon the keeper. Oh, and he's knifed to the floor. Great diving tackle. And that's Pop Bowman. Of course his name's Pop on the tackle.
Pretty impressive. You bring down a guy the size of Faison Brandon down just like that. Take his legs out. That is a heck of a play right when you need it too in those second and short-ish situations.
This West Charlotte defense won a state title with 6 underclassmen. Now those kids are juniors and seniors and making plays.
Absolutely. And you see it there. It shows up. This defense has so much room still to grow because they are so still young.
3rd and short. Misdirection. Howerton bobbles and catches.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, DJ, that's my DJ. How did he do that?
Are you kidding me? The concentration by the big guy down the field. Last time we saw DJ Howerton, he was making game-winning touchdowns in the state playoffs. This time, a whirling catch down the field, playing hot potato with the football and able to snare that one out of the air.
He caught it to himself.
Excuse me, sir.
Incredible work by the DJ at the nightclub here in Charlotte, DJ Howerton in the late hours. Under 4 minutes left in this state title bout. Williams into Little John's belly. No gain that time.
Again, we bring up the point, no timeouts. West Charlotte cannot stop the clock here. So if you're Grimsley, you're thinking we got to try to milk this clock as much as possible because there is not a thing that West Charlotte can do to stop you right now from doing that.
Entering the Cook Reynolds red zone. Cook Reynolds running a smart way to get things done. Grimsley's won 16 straight games. It's the longest win streak in the state.
You see, they're taking their time, letting that play clock work, watching the time tick off the board.
2nd and 9 for Faison Brandon. He's keeping it. Brandon catching outside. One man to beat. A short, good tackle. 3rd and goal coming up.
And doesn't reach for the end zone that time. Content with the run that it is, stretches out as much as he can, but keeps the ball to his body. Make sure you keep that in your possession and is able to move the sticks.
It is a first down, so the clock stops and now restarts. Do you burn a play or 2 here if you're Grimsley from a clock standpoint?
I mean, you certainly could. I mean, you're in complete control of this situation right now.
And it's in the hands of the top-rated recruit. You see that Tennessee towel. A man who's won the game with his legs tonight, not as much his arms. Critical 1st and goal. Brandon calls his number and is stopped Back to the line of scrimmage, but that clock keeps moving.
Stay right where they are as well. I think it's important to note, Evan, with the way the quarterback position has evolved over time. Talked about tight ends earlier. Now quarterbacks used to be, well, throw the ball as much as possible. Can you dice up a defense? Then it became, well, can he run? And then now we've got this hybrid where you can attack them vertically down the field but make those smart decisions. But you don't have to be the fastest. But if you can beat people with your legs, that's what guys want now. This is what coaching staffs look for. And tonight, Faison Brandon hasn't done it with his arm. He's made a lot of good plays with his arm, granted. But it's been his ability to run the football that's kept this defense off balance and put Grimsley in a position to win this football game.
You see Grimsley working the clock wisely there with the timeout. And it all goes back to that missed extra point by Ruiz. Otherwise, the complexion of this game is so different.
100%. You're talking about a tied football game. But really, I think more so even than that, the biggest mistake here is no timeouts.
So what do we think of these teams moving forward? Grimsley and West Charlotte, how do they project as dangerous teams in the state?
Well, think about this, right? So West Charlotte, the 3 fumbles tonight, multiple penalties. They are sorely losing in the penalty department if you compare the two sides. That all being said, it's a great turning point, and it's a very easy one for Coach Greiner and his team to say, look, guys, we played this close to a team that's ranked nationally, 17th in the Max Preps ratings. So you sit there and have that conversation. We can say, we clean that stuff up, we can beat anybody. And I think that's very possible. West Charlotte has all this talent, all this returning talent. We've seen it flashed at times tonight where there's some really nice pieces that if they're functioning all on the same page at the same time at the top level that they can.
And West Charlotte, they'll have Monroe, one of the favorites in
Yes.
5A next week.
Yes.
And then South Point, who we saw earlier tonight in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. The Queen City is living up to it.
I just think there are a lot of aspects to West Charlotte's game, if they're operating at their top capacity, are borderline unstoppable. But I can say the same thing about Grimsley as well. I think Grimsley is exactly who Grimsley always is.
Meanwhile, Grimsley will have West and East Forsyth, 2 of the favorites at 7 and 8A the next 2 weeks.
They are well coached. They execute. I mean, we talk about Coach Greiner. He said it himself. This team isn't going to beat themselves. They're not going to get confused by what you do. You have to beat them.
Here's 2nd and goal. Brandon to Williams. Williams is in, and Grimsley's back on the board. No Mitchell Summers, no problem for the running game of Micah Williams, his 2nd score.
Second time he's gone off the right side of that offensive line tonight. Nick Cashabura able to pave the way. The all-everything right tackle, the App State commit, paving the way this time for Williams to get in for his 2nd tud of the night and of the season.
Okay, so in a 7-point game, the math gets kind of interesting here, how you approach the 1 versus the 2. We'll see the touchdown.
Well, really, you take this as an opportunity. You kick the extra point here, you go up by 8, you force West Charlotte to get a 2-point conversion to tie this game, providing they go down the field and score.
Now, the other side of the coin, you go for 2 and you win the game if you make the 2-point play.
Correct. But I think right now, the way your defense has played to this point in the football game, you've only surrendered those 13 points. You've forced turnovers. You've limited penalties as much as possible. I think this is the smart play.
An important penalty as well. That's 15 yards on the kickoff.
Correct. So that goal we just talked about makes it a little bit easier for sure.
Well, we just saw Ruiz miss a kick, an important one for Chase Homental, the junior kicker. To make this an 8-point game, and he's got it. So now West Charlotte will have to march the field and go for 2 to extend this Keep Pounding Classic.
But again, that penalty now on the kickoff moves it up 15 yards. And you've got some electrifying returners back there. We already saw it once tonight. Davion Jones took one to the house that was called back, but they have the ability to break loose and get yards on these special teams opportunities.
8-point game, number 1 versus number 2 in the state. What a night to kick off the high school football season.
If you're Grimsley, you are working those sidelines and keeping West Charlotte in bounds as much as possible here. knowing that they've got to get down the field in a hurry. Now, the clock will still stop when first downs are obtained, so we'll stop to respot the chains. But those 3 timeouts not being there could not be more massive in this moment.
I missed the Greek night memo. I should have worn my toga. I have it ready.
Now, that's a good teaser.
You're not a toga guy?
I never wore a toga in college.
Oh, interesting.
Now, part of that's because I played college football. I didn't have time.
You were an offensive lineman at Catawba. I'm Evan Bodrovich. Thanks for joining us tonight. Rebecca Russell getting interviews post-game with the winners. This is week 1 of the high school football season. We cannot wait for the race to December with state championships looming in 8 divisions this year. And let's go down to Rebecca Russell with more. An important kickoff for Chase Homental. 8-point game. The penalty pushes back the kick. And here's West Charlotte with a critical chance to return. From the 38. Nice cutback. There's a hole. Wow, what a start for West Charlotte. And for more, here's Rebecca Russell. Critical start. Nichols out of the pocket. He's pressured, and Nichols gains 10. Keeps his feet in bounds. Nice play. So a lot of time left, especially with clock stopping on a first down.
You kidding. 1:26 to go. Great play. The athleticism, the wheels by Nichols to get outside. Just narrowly past the defender bearing down on him. Able to turn upfield. It's a first down. And Evan, we're talking about a football game now. 8-point difference, 34 yards to go. All that speed on the field for West Charlotte.
Nichols, plenty of time. Nichols puts the gas pedal on, and a nice run for Nichols. He'll get 7. His running ability has been huge tonight.
Got to get up to the football now. It wasn't a first down, so that clock is continuing to run every second precious.
The number 1 junior quarterback in the state, making things happen with his legs. Here he is, 28 yards from a tie game. 1v1. Takes his shot. Nichols complete.
Kidding.
Nicholson inside the 10. Oh no! Ruled incomplete. A late ruling from the back judge. Let's take a look. Did he hold on to the football, though? No,
it looked like it bounced the turf, yeah. Wow, what a... I mean, you talk about as good as a catch as it would have been. Up over the top, just cannot survive that hit.
And remember, no challenges in high school football. Everyone's seen the video boards, but that doesn't apply in this situation.
Keon Battle makes a hit to potentially save a game here for Grimsley.
Here's 3rd and 4. Nichols, handoff, McLean. Nice run. He might have enough. Yeah, there's the first down. Clock stops with 46. Remember, no timeouts left for West Charlotte, too. The number 1 team in 8A football needs 25 yards. Nichols with time. Slides up, goes deep. Katie Cotton returns. What a catch. Finch right there.
Modern day tight end, love him in that flex role. This time gets the matchup, wins outside against 2 defenders and works the sideline, gets the knee down. What a savvy play by your all-everything tight end.
The Air Force commit for 20. And a whistle. Timeout for Grimsley. So they have one timeout left. And what a pitch and catch from Nichols to Finch.
Tell you what, Evan, there were some fans leaving the stands after that Grimsley touchdown. Hold on a second. 5 yards away from potentially tying this football game. This, you couldn't have written it any better than this, partner.
You have an Elite 11 quarterback in Faison Brandon using his legs tonight. You have Jamori Nichols, one of the best juniors in the state, using his brain to manipulate the defense.
I mean, it's been an all-everything performance by both these quarterbacks. You've seen Faison Brandon go outside his comfort zone, really get down the field running the football. And then Jamori Nichols, we know exactly what he does, the dual threat that he presents, the stress he puts on a defense, rushing the football, but the smarts to not make mistakes unnecessarily, making the right reads, the right throw, the right play at the right time.
This is Best on Best, a state title preview. And here in the red zone, Jamori Nichols, 5 yards from making things really interesting.
Ask us why these two quarterbacks were our players to watch tonight. You've seen it on full display here on Friday Night Rivals.
Critical 1st and goal. Nichols finds McLean. Breaks a tackle but is short. And hold on, is that ball loose? No, it's ruled down, but the clock's ticking, 20 seconds. West Charlotte's got to go.
They've got to go.
2nd and goal, 15 seconds. Spike. Okay, 2 plays now to tie this game, possibly.
And barring a penalty.
So you can't run the ball in this spot, right?
I couldn't possibly imagine running the football in this spot. But Sam Greer and his staff have such a great feel for the game here. And even in these moments, when that field shrinks down, this is where that speed comes into play more than any other time, because they're able to execute in those short areas better than a lot of other teams can. They can find the separation. Can they have the execution to get into the end zone?
2 of the best teams in the state, 2 plays to decide it. 3rd and goal, late snap. Nichols running, he's in! Touchdown, West Charlotte! And now a 2-point play to tie it.
Put it in his hands. Let your all-everything junior quarterback go make a play, and he does just that time and time and time again. This just another example, fighting through the contact, diving into the end zone, and now 2 points away with 8 seconds remaining.
That missed extra point is huge right now for Angel Ruiz. It's on the offense's shoulders. 8 plays in 1:27.
And not just that, but the 15-yard penalty at the end of the Grimsley drive sets up the short kickoff in the short field for West Charlotte.
Who's the best team in North Carolina? We find out right here. 2-point play. Nichols scrambles. Nichols is in. This game ain't over. Who's ready for overtime?
And the Lions just keep pounding all night long. It has gone against them, the turnovers, the penalties. We've talked about them. But when gut check time came, they were up to the challenge. They make the plays they need to. And again, it's Jamori Nichols. What a player.
One of the most elusive runners in the state. And you gave him a chance. 1.5 minutes. You gave him time.
That's all he needs. Look at this. The contain breaks down. He sees it right away. If he can just get outside. Able to beat Wardlaw this time. His mortal enemy for so much of this evening. But the speed, as it so often does, kills.
Coach Greiner says Nichols, he's the best player I've ever had. He doesn't have the height of a traditional college QB, but he's sure a playmaker in the closing moments.
Well, there's guys that we see almost every year, Evan, that are highly touted, but they lack something. They have all the intangibles, the skills, everything, but there's always something lacking. It's just that clutch gene, the it factor. Jamori Nichols, ladies and gentlemen, has it.
Here's Raccoon's kickoff, and a fair catch, so no time goes off the clock. Okay, one timeout, 8 seconds. You have a chance to get to midfield here.
So if I'm Grimsley, I'm thinking here, you have that timeout, okay? You've got to strike quick. You've got to get yourself a chance. Get your guys down the field in a hurry. Faison's got to get that ball out quickly, and you call that timeout and give yourself a chance at a field goal here at the end of regulation.
Here's the best quarterback in the country. You couldn't ask for a better opportunity. Lead your team on a game-winning drive. West Charlotte answers the bell with a 46-yard score. Faison Brandon, your turn. 8 seconds. Handoff, Williams. That won't do it. And we're destined for overtime here in the Keep Pounding Classic. Let's play more football.
Evan, this is a state championship matchup. And we're getting it week 1. And we're going into overtime. I could not possibly be more impressed by these two teams.
Well, let's play more football. Overtime here in the Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Carolina Classic Fair. Man, a fun one. Jamori Nichols, Faison Brandon back and forth. And now we play old-fashioned overtime. Both teams get the football. Both teams get an opportunity to score. And it's about who can make big plays this late in the game.
Well, late in the game, it's been West Charlotte. Stagnant for most of the game, only 7 points on the board. In the fourth quarter, they're able to muster 2 touchdown drives. One no more impressive than the last one there. Jamori Nichols in this offense finding ways to make plays, and now they have given themselves a chance in overtime to somehow miraculously walk away with a Week 1 W over the nationally ranked Grimsley Whirlies.
And how about these quarterbacks who, of course, are out for the coin toss? Sam Greiner, Darryl Brown, head coaches. Dynamic matchup. And now there's some Who wants the ball first? Who wants to play defense first? A lot to decide in these moments.
I feel like if you're winning that toss, as West Charlotte, the way that your offense has caught fire here lately, I'm taking the football first. I know the usual conventional thinking is play defense, see what you have to do offensively, and go from there. But your offense is on such a roll right now that you want to get them back out on the field as soon as possible.
An important coin toss to decide who gets the ball first. So West Charlotte's defense will get the ball, and then Grimsley will start offensively. Because we saw in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the 49ers 2 years ago, you get that ball second, it really opens up 4-down territory.
Well, it certainly does. And again, you find out exactly what you need to do offensively. So less of an unknown situation there.
Here's the numbers for Faison Brandon, top quarterback commit in the country. He's been everything tonight. Everything his team needs. So efficient offensively.
And yet still now, he needs to be even more. One of the keys to this game was Faison's time to shine. The lights, they're bright. Overtime is here against the number 2 team in the state. In week 1, you're in Bank of America Stadium. You're going to have a stadium that's bigger than this.
This is bigger than the Catalina Wine Mix.
Absolutely, but it's not bigger than Leland Staley. And that's exactly where he's going to be at next season. You've got to seize this opportunity and make it your own. Come out of here with a dub.
Remember Grimsley's last drive, an impressive 70-yard score. They went up 8, electing to kick and not go for 2, and now they get the ball first, working from that 10-yard line. Both teams get the ball from the 10. You get a stop, you get a win.
You know what's interesting, though? I almost kind of think that even if Grimsley goes for 2 and they don't get it, right, and they stay up 7, I think just given how things have played out to that point, if West Charlotte had gone down the field and scored anyways, I think they would have gone for 2 for the win. Sam Griner just strikes me as the guy who's got all the confidence in the world, and you hear it from him in his kids and his roster.
The reigning coach of the year in the state.
He's going to give them that opportunity to go for the win because he believes in what they do.
So here's Faison Brandon, first and goal in overtime. Each team gets the football. And movement from Sam Johnson and this West Charlotte defense, which now turns into 1st and 5 in this goal situation.
Well, and you're giving an offense that, as well as they execute, they don't need free yards given to them. They'll gladly take them when you give them to them, but they certainly don't need it. One-on-one matchups along the outside.
Brandon's turn in overtime. Keeper. And Faison gets 1. Good pursuit by Caden Smith. Because this becomes 4-down territory now if you're Grimsley, correct? Do you elect to kick in this spot?
I think so. Sorry, but I think so. It's 4-down territory. Again, just by the way you've seen West Charlotte operate, I think this is 4-down territory if you are the Whirlies.
Here's Brandon's second attempt. Longest win streak in the state, 16 games. Have some work to do to catch Independence's run when they won 109 straight from 2007. And now we have a whistle. Although fittingly, the last time these teams met, 2007 in the state playoffs, the winner of that game played Independence the year they lost their 7-year championship run. Another penalty defensively.
So now you bump that up even closer.
So basically 8 yards have been given away by West Charlotte. You didn't have much to work with here from the 10.
I really got to tell you, I think these are no-brainer plays. I'm giving it to Faison Brandon every single time on line to run the football. I think you challenge your offensive line here and allow them to go get it.
In the hands of Brandon. Finds Williams, and Littlejohn dives in there. Loss of 1.
Evan, he looks like a Penn State edge rusher, doesn't he? I mean, you're channeling every time he comes off the edge. That first step, swimming around, he gets there so quickly, like an Abdul Carter, like a Micah Parsons.
He needs to get paid, by the way.
Yes, he does.
And there's Littlejohn, the next generation right there. James Franklin watching on. setting up a 3rd and goal here in overtime. Top receiver Caden Cato back in the game. And now Darrell Brown will use his timeout, his lone timeout in overtime.
Miscommunication, trying to get those receivers set up. They were not on the same page on the outside.
Winningest program in the state the last 4 years, 68-3. And here's Grimsley with a chance to strike first in this overtime.
I just think by everything we hear and the times that we've talked to Darrell Brown over the years, it's always been extravagant football, but in its simplest form. Because when you talk to him, he's just pure football. Hey, I want to be hard-nosed running the football. He knows he has a guy and a quarterback who's the #1 recruit in the country, who's going to Tennessee next year, who can make all the throws, all the reads, all the runs. But the bread and butter of what Darrell Brown does offensively is running the football and it being hard-nosed down your throat. And that's exactly what they want to do here. I mean, think about it. You're in this situation, he wants his offensive line to take that ownership, to take that next level. They have the size, they have the ability, but trying to get those new guys incorporated into that, the 3 new starters along that offensive front, it's been a challenge here tonight, but can they grow up in a hurry here in this moment and give their guys a chance to walk away with a win?
Top 2 teams in the state living up to it. And here's Grimsley's first chance to score in overtime. Brandon gets the snap, cuts it forward. He's short. About a yard on 4th down.
They go for it. And there's not even a hesitation on the Grimsley sideline. You're going for it.
One of the most veteran defenses in the state. West Charlotte returning 10 starters. And Grimsley with the best player in the country, mano-a-mano on 4th down.
We got to stick to it here. It's got to be Faison Brandon. You need a yard to get into the end zone. Big boy football time.
4th and goal. Brandon keeps Hayes in. The best player in the country responds from 1 yard out.
West Charlotte gave 7 to 8 yards in penalties on that drive. And they still made it difficult to get into the end zone for Grimsley. But when they had to have it, you give it to the best player on your team, the best player in the country, and allow him to do what he has done all night long, hurt this defense with his legs, this time into the end zone.
Second scorer for Brandon, now critical extra point for Chase Holmental. And he's got it. So now West Charlotte gets the ball at the 10, and they have to score to keep this game going.
You have to think the times that we saw defensively where Grimsley was fantastic was when they had spies all over Jamori Nichols, watching where he was on the field. Cassius Bostic was the guy several times that we saw bring him down for either no gain or in the backfield.
He's been perfect.
Yeah.
That's a 153 QBR. The guy's doing everything right.
Absolutely. And that doesn't even tell the full story of the game.
It's the fumbles that have cost West Charlotte.
Correct. Now 10 yards to go.
The Lions get their turn at the end zone. A program that's literally 7 minutes up the road. Nichols, who grew 3 inches this offseason, coming off a state championship, second-year starter, now a quarterback, and he gets a chance to even this game up. First and goal, quarterback keeper. It's Nichols again! And West Charlotte has decisions.
Come on, man, that's too easy. That's too easy.
You going for 1 or for 2?
I got to tell you, you're going for 2.
Listen to this crowd.
They're asking for it. They're begging for 2. I think given the circumstance, you're going for it. The standpoint doesn't change. You're a championship team. You go and take it.
Now Nichols is cramping. Does that impact the decision?
He was going onto the field. He was stretching. We did highlight that. Great work by our crew to do that.
Man, this decision gets a whole lot tougher if Nichols isn't 100%.
But now here comes the next phase of his game, right? If you don't think he can run, he's still more than capable throwing the football. I think this is where play design now comes into play, where you have that speed. You get to the outside. Design it so you make space.
3 scores for Nichols tonight. What does Sam Greiner have drawn up, the reigning coach of the year in the state? Can we just fast forward to Chapel Hill and call this the state championship game? 5 exciting months of high school football on tap. And 2 of the best teams at 8A and 7, the 2 best divisions, going at it mano-a-mano. And it's in the hands of that man, Jamori Nichols. This crowd was begging for the hometown team to go for 2. You
can see Nichols is a little tender there.
He's not 100%, but this is it. Game on the line. Talking to his Air Force commit, Rakeem Finch.
You got to think that's it right there. That's going to be his #1 target.
For the Keep Pounding Classic. Movement. Who moved?
See how the officials come together for suspense.
What do you got for us, Philip Spate?
Usually you get that false start or offsides penalty for that call right away. You can see him running in from the sideline. Not this time.
This is a gigantic call. Oh, 5 yards. Do you go for it now?
Yes.
Given the kicking woes of West Charlotte, they're going for it. So now there's indecision in this huddle.
And certainly, you're sitting here thinking, if you're Grimsley, you still watch for the run. Certainly, it's a passing situation now.
Both teams have burned their timeouts.
Look how flat the Whirly's defense is right now. Not a lot of guys back there protecting the end zone.
For the Keep Pounding Classic, Nichols is tackled and he's down. Grimsley remains the kings of North Carolina.
Who else brings the pressure that time? Gets home and is in the face of Jamori Nichols, other than Jaden Wardlaw. It has been all night long with pressure. Almost every time Grimsley got back there on a drop back pass, Wardlaw was the man making that play in some way, shape, or fashion.
How about the 2 best teams in the state? One final play to decide it. And that defensive line, it's young for Grimsley, but they make the play to win the Keep Pounding Classic.
Absolutely incredible. And you can't say enough about these 2 teams right now. I know Grimsley's going to come out of here thankful for that win. West Charlotte, the one that got away, but so much in front of both of these teams. And Evan, it's very possible we get to December and both these squads are competing for a state title.
What a performance from Sam Greiner's club coming back. They elect to go for the win. We're going to step aside and get some winning interviews when we return to Bank of America Stadium. How about them apples to kick off Friday Night Rivals? Welcome back to our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. What a finish. The Grimsley Whirlies defense hangs on for a 1-point win. And how about tonight's Carolina Classic Fair Player of the Game? The Carolina Classic Fair, 10 days of awesome. You see the Grimsley staff being interviewed on the field. An explosive night for Faison Brandon, Mr. Cooper, and this Grimsley offense.
Well, Faison Brandon, the straw that stirs the drink. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it all game long, and for good reason. There's a good reason why he's the #1 rated player in the entire country and why Tennessee Volunteer fans are so excited for next season when he makes his way to campus in Knoxville. The ability to make plays throughout the game in many different facets, so exciting. And he is our Carolina Classic Fair Player of the Game. Carolina Classic Fair, 10 days of awesome.
How about that? This was like 10 days of awesome in one game. Let's dive into our Caring Hands Play of the Game. Caring Hands Home Health. Put your loved one in our caring hands, and it comes down in overtime. Brandon taking care of business.
I mean, you could have chose 10 different plays that we could have done Play of the Game for, but this one to put the Grimsley Whirlies ahead for good this evening, again on the wheels and on the back. Number 11 in all white. What a player, what a play, what a game.
Faison Brandon, 2 scores, 200 total yards, and then our Norris Automotive drive of the game. Norris Automotive, family-owned and operated automobile repair shop in Mebane and Burlington since '63. There's the Keep Pounding Classic trophy. Nick Cashabura, celebrate, young man. O-lineman leading that drive of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, just a hoss up front for a line that had to come together pretty quickly in this football game. They were challenged early on, but able to do enough, make some plays down the field, enough throughout the course of regulation, and then when it really mattered, able to get it done.
This was the drive that tied it for West Charlotte. How about Nichols making things happen with his legs?
Just an absolute showstopper of a play. Despite the loss, Jamari Nichols etched his name into the history of Charlotte athletics as a whole. Just a fantastic job by West Charlotte to continue to fight as the game went on. And again, I think they are as poised for a championship as anyone else in this state.
And here's the victory celebration. A fun moment with the trophy. And how about our stop of the game? This defense was really good.
Is the school bus stop
for
of the game,
Grimsley, and they get the big stop to win it.
Just what mattered most. You started thinking yourself, and Evan, do they kick it after the false start penalty? Do they get something back? But no. They get back there. They get the pressure yet again. In times they were able to drop back and pass. Not much was going on there. But Kai Yon able to make a stop. The safety comes up, makes the play of the game, and the save of the game as well.
Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by Nitschta. Fun moment for the Grimsley staff, including Darryl Brown's son, enjoying the action tonight. That's why Grimsley's #1 team in the state. It showed these two teams were neck and neck, but at the end, the big dogs hold their turf as the #1 team.
I mean, you can't say enough. We've already said it so many times about either one of these teams, but Grimsley, Coach Brown said it throughout the week. We feel like we want to play the best because it's always going to make us better. And throughout the course of this game, you saw them get better along the way. And I think this is going to be another successful season for the Grimsley Whirlies, but also these West Charlotte Lions. So impressive, even in defeat here tonight, to hang tough with one of the nation's best in Grimsley.
Well, that's night 1 to kick off the high school season. We want to take a moment and thank our sponsors who make these games possible, of course. So, Carolina Panthers, first of all, let's do this again. Thanks for the broadcast for Bank of America Stadium here in Charlotte, and Belk for sponsoring this Keep Pounding Classic. We want to thank Capital Metals in High Point, Cook Reynolds, Mountain Fried Chicken, Patriot Pretzel. I mean, so many people we want to thank. And finally, to the high schools and their administrators, thank you for the interviews, the time, and the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals broadcast. It's all the people involved, and the game, of course, is part of it, but the people make it so much better.
Absolutely. Couldn't say enough about our crew here tonight. Just an amazing job on night 1 of week 1 of Friday Night Rivals. Evan, if this is the start, can you imagine how this is going to continue to go on?
It'll end in the state championships. I know that. It'll be a good one with these two teams, hopefully, in that bracket. And while we wait for some of the Grimsley players and coaches, we want to remind you to join us next Friday, August 29th. Ragsdale Tigers against the Falcons of South Guilford here on My 48. And there's the celebration. Faison Brandon, he's living it up. and enjoying this moment. The Whataburger Trophy. Everyone's getting involved with trophies tonight.
That's an impressive little trophy right there, bud.
He's the MVP, the Whataburger MVP. Always something. And look at Trey Boston out there having a blast. He wants to be playing with the boys.
Oh, he sure
out
absolutely
there tonight.
does. Hey, Trey Boston back in the day, man. Hey, the SmackDown.
He's doing things right. I want to thank our director, Wes Myers, our producer, Lori Bates. We're going to join Rebecca in just a minute as Grimsley wraps up the Keep Pounding Classic. And we told you these teams could score, and in the second half, it was offenses going back and forth.
It wasn't just the second half, it was the fourth quarter. Both offenses woke up. West Charlotte finally decided they wanted to get something done throughout the game, put the game on the back of Jamori Nichols at the quarterback position, and let him take control. He is as advertised, seeing him for the first time in person. Just such a hard-fought battle between both teams. Again, could not be more impressed by either side in victory or defeat tonight. So good, so tough to even have an out, and you got to better believe that West Charlotte throughout the course of the season is going to be even tougher to defeat after tonight's loss.
West? I thought you said East. Grimsley will take on East Forsyth next week. Another fun matchup on the Triad. And there's the sound of the Grimsley Whirlies. We got Rebecca ready to rock and roll here in just a moment with Coach Darryl Brown. And something tells me we'll see these two teams in both the 8A and the 7A championship here in no time.
100%. Two teams are going to be not just competing for state championships this year, they're going to be squarely within contention of a state title.
And now we have Rebecca Russell down with Coach Darryl Brown.
I can't hear anything. Coach, a roller coaster to end that game. You go into overtime. How did your team find a way to keep pounding and win this game?
We just got a bunch of tough dudes. Like some people's going to say, well, you didn't play great, but they're a great football team, and it's not supposed to be easy. When you got two of the best teams in the state lining up against each other, that's a state championship kind of game in the first game of the season. So our guys were relentless, just found a way. There's things obviously that we're going to want to do better moving forward, but just couldn't be more proud of their heart and their toughness.
What did they show you tonight in terms of setting the tone for the rest of the season, the edge that they showed? Because you mentioned this week staying hungry coming off a championship season.
Yeah, like if we weren't hungry, we wouldn't have won tonight, obviously we'll watch film and get back to figuring out things that we need to do better. And first game of the season, still trying to figure out some different things. But, to come out of here with a win against them and that kind of game, I think it does nothing but just makes us better moving forward. It really propels us into the next few weeks.
Well, Coach, from your daughter, we want to present you. Come on in here. Your trophy for Friday Night Rivals. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you letting my daughter work tonight. She needed to.
She's been great. Well, that'll do it from Bank of America Stadium. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the season. Our score tonight, 28-27 Grimsley from Greensboro, North Carolina. They get the win in the Keep Pounding High School Classic. Thanks for watching. This is your My 48 Friday Night Rivals.
I grew up where the world was simple and slow, learn right from wrong, work, road. There was never plan B, just a path I'm taking, breaking on through on the road I'm making.